What's up guys, this is your favorite fanfic YouTuber, the Fanfic Majesty. Join my Discord if you want to chat and share your thoughts, the link is in the description. 4GF86. So, be optimistic about my brother, my cells? Senju Hashirama asked curiously. Orochimaru, please introduce me. Uzumaki Mizuki said, it is good, your cells have extremely strong activity. I also discovered this cell. At first, I just thought about whether people could have wood style. After all, your wood style is famous far and wide. But no one in the Senju family has wood style except you, so I was curious, so I started researching. In the end, only one research body survived, and it was still a defective product. Afterwards, I tried to transplant it into the body of an ordinary person, and the resilience of the living body was greatly increased, almost comparable to the degradation of Tsunade's ninja art, meiotic regeneration. Orochimaru said, I didn't expect my cells to have so many functions. Senju Hashirama was surprised, he was completely unaware of it. I found this research information from the handbook of second generation. Orochimaru gave a hint, Tobirama, this guy is real, it's all his fault. Senju Hashirama said angrily, Uchiha Madara should have been in charge in the first place. The Senju clan, the Uchiha clan, and the Uzumaki clan were all descendants of the Sage of Six Paths. The Hyuga clan are the descendants of the younger brother of the Sage of Six Paths. First generation cells, which can alleviate the side effects of Mangekyo Sharingan and eliminate the blindness of the eyes. The effect on the Hyuga family is unknown, and it may have a certain effect. Uzumaki Mizuki spoke. So that's why Danzo likes Sharingan so much. It turns out that it is because of the first generation cells in his body, which can eliminate the side effects of having Sharingan. Orochimaru suddenly realized. Danzo did not speak to Orochimaru about this matter. Do it all by yourself. Otherwise, with Orochimaru intervening, Danzo's hand must have exerted more than that kind of power. That's professional and non-professional possibilities. What? It turns out that Madara and I are indeed brothers, no wonder we had a feeling when we first met. Senju Hashirama directly believed in this possibility. Uchiha Fugaku was very shocked at the side, and it was obviously the first time he knew the news. But in the end, these three families were basically one or two only seedlings, and all of them died. Vortex, Senju, Uchiha. The one who turns to Boruto is just one or two people. That's a hallucination, Grandpa, Tsunade couldn't help but said. She was also shocked by the news. She felt the killing intent on Uzumaki Mizuki just now, but she didn't care so much at this time. Advertisement after all, she is a fierce woman who has experienced the battlefield. We are brother family with Uchiha? The most unacceptable, of course, is Hyuga Heishi. Good guy, after a long time, it's all my own people. In the end, it was Sarutobi, an outsider, who made the entire family unnecessary. That's horrible. Orochimaru, this time is the reward. The deeper secret is that eternal Mangekyo, and Senju cells, together with chakra, which is comparable to a tailed beast, can synthesize Rinnegan. That's the eye of the Sage of Six Paths. On Uzumaki Mizuki's side, he revealed this secret directly in front of everyone. Not to mention how difficult it is to synthesize. But now, this stuff doesn't pose much threat to him. So it's okay to tell them. So, without the Sharingan, it's impossible to have the Rinnegan? Jiraiya asked suddenly in shock. Yes, Nagato's Rinnegan, Uchiha Madara's. Uchiha Madara used Izunagi's suspended animation to get the first generation cell in the final battle, and turned his eternal Mangekyo into Rinnegan. Uzumaki Mizuki nodded and spoke directly, how did you know about Nagato? Jiraiya was taken aback, then asked with a shocked expression. When I fought Madara, I did get bitten by him at the end. There was no one else on the field at the time, shouldn't someone know? Senju Hashirama has the same doubts here. On the other hand, Uchiha Fugaku was very excited. He felt that he knew a shocking secret. It turns out that the Sharingan of the Uchiha clan can still play like this. I cherish the first generation cells in my hands even more. Orochimaru's eyes brightened too. At this time, I can't wait to try the two research bodies. I'm telling you this, just to let you know. If something happens to Naruto, the consequences will be very serious. Even if Sage of Six Paths is alive, I am not afraid of his mother coming. Destroy the world, I'm not kidding. So you guys, watch Naruto for me while I'm away, understand? But Uzumaki Mizuki's answer was beyond their expectations. Hearing this explanation, everyone's faces were a little stiff. Asterisk 10. I feel a lot of pressure. Uchiha Fugaku feels that the current war does not seem to be as stressful as this incident. Advertisement, aren't you the reincarnation of Sage of Six Paths? On Orochimaru's side, I have a question. He always felt that Uzumaki Mizuki was Minato taking the opportunity to occupy his child's body at that time. But after thinking about it for a long time, I found that the only thing that could hang like this since I was a child is the Sage of Six Paths. The ancestor of ninjas. But just now, Uzumaki Mizuki said that Sage of Six Paths is not afraid of coming. It doesn't feel like Sage of Six Paths. Who told you I was the Sage of Six Paths? Nice imagination, though. Sage of Six Paths F***********G sealed on the moon by Sage of Six Paths. F asterisk 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 G Mother is the strongest one, the one who has the ability to directly destroy the world, the one who was connected to me recently. Uzumaki Mizuki once again revealed a secret, just to scare these people. Watching Naruto wrestle is like seeing a nuclear bomb go down. Let them tremble with fear, that way you can go out with ease. Everyone did not doubt what Uzumaki Mizuki said, because it's so true. So, what is the identity of Uzumaki Mizuki? No one asked. Well done Orochimaru, and an even better secret. Maybe you will find out by yourself, but I don't know how long it will take. What I say can save you a lot of time. Uzumaki Mizuki finally said to Orochimaru, field people. The most capable is naturally Orochimaru. The one who does the most work is Uchiha Fugaku. It is up to scientists to change the future. Now the prototype of the future of the ninja world has not yet been finalized. Taking the road of science and technology, or proving the way by force. At that time, Orochimaru may have developed such a thing as a gene cell. Change the pattern directly. But what Uzumaki Mizuki wants Orochimaru to research is Viagra. This thing can help increase the population. That is to increase your points quickly. I will work hard. Orochimaru was ambitious at this time. Can't wait to start a big fight. Uchiha Fugaku and Hyuga Heishi also wanted to connect with Orochimaru to some extent. It turns out that this person is the nobleman in their family. 87. Is it the father of Sage of Six Paths? A group of people dispersed to digest the secrets they just learned. Jiraiya felt a lot of pressure on her body. At the same time, he was also worried about the 3 disciples he had accepted at that time. It seemed that they had fallen into a trap. He has to protect Naruto during this period. If something really happened, the world would really come to an end. Others are also in this way. Uchiha Fugaku and Hyuga Heishi both went back to warn their family members that even if their lives were gone, they should keep Naruto under surveillance. But at night, Uzumaki Mizuki went to find Orochimaru again. Are you going to tell me a deeper secret? Orochimaru asked very energetically. In the afternoon, he, Uchiha and Hyuga, came to an agreement. The 2 families will persuade the disabled or dying members of the family to come over as research subjects for experiments. Even Sharingan and Beian are offered, but if these studies are successful, they all want a copy. 307. That didn't matter to Orochimaru. As long as in the end, you can make a body that suits you best. He felt that with his talent, he could definitely outplay everyone. No, there is something for you to do. The ghoul seal is reversed and released. Putting on a specific mask, you can summon the Shinigami, and then you can release the thing sealed in the Shinigami's body. I want to give my father to impure world reincarnation. No soul can be reincarnation. Uzumaki Mizuki said straight, these people are still unreliable. But for this relatively unfamiliar parent, he can still be trusted. This technique, if you don't do it well, you will die. It's a bit dangerous. Orochimaru frowned, looking scared in his words, but his face was calm. If you want to kill him, it will take another 100 years. He has left a lot of backhands for himself. Using the method of changing the body, it is enough to change another body. No harm to the soul, just to the body. After success, lift the seal on your body. Uzumaki Mizuki to Orochimaru. He can do this by himself, but it is a bit troublesome. It's also a bit of a risk to find that mask that fits, while summoning the Shinigami yourself. Letting Orochimaru take the risk is the best thing to do. This seal has no effect on me at all. Orochimaru spread his hands. But as soon as he finished speaking, the golden light illuminated his miserable face into gold. Then he fell under the illusion. When he woke up, he was bound by chains. Advertisement Orochimaru was speechless, silently watching Uzumaki Mizuki. Do you understand the seal I said? Uzumaki Mizuki asked again. Understood. Orochimaru nodded. Abiding by Urik's laws and regulations, researching the body and so on, convincing yourself, and paying enough money. I don't care too much, understand? Uzumaki Mizuki continued. Now Orochimaru, it's still crazy. No knocking. So as not to go to the house to expose the tiles. It is good. Orochimaru has no comments. Break the seal, let me know. After Uzumaki Mizuki finished speaking, he released Shadow Clone directly and disappeared in front of Orochimaru. Is it just Shadow Clone? In the end, what is Tien's origin? This was what Orochimaru was most curious about at this moment. Sage of Six Paths is no longer in sight, so who else could he be? Sage of Six Paths his father, probably. How's the situation on the front line? Luo Sha asked Baki. In this battle, several parties have a tacit understanding and are ready to attack together. If one side attacks alone, it is very likely to face Urik's biggest counterattack force. Other ninja villages don't want to suffer either. So get in touch, set a good time, and then work together. Distribute Urik's manpower as much as possible to reduce everyone's pressure. The layout has been completed, waiting for the arrival of Master Fengying. But what we are facing is the team led by the Uchiha clan. Now Uchiha Fugaku, the patriarch of the Uchiha clan, and his son Uchiha Itachi, both have Mangekyo Sharingan, which is very dangerous and poses a great threat to Jinchuriki, so this time, I'm afraid I can't bring Gaara to the battlefield. Baki reported to Luoshawi. The layout of Urik is above board. No information was withheld at all. Everyone was a little puzzled by Urik's approach. Confirm the authenticity of the news again and again before making arrangements. Will the most elite troops come against us? It seems that Konoha's style of hating his own people the most. Luo Sha was a little upset, he felt targeted, advertisement. This time, several shadows also felt the oppression of writing by the daimyo. They were a little uncomfortable inside. I also guessed what was going on, and at the same time, I didn't have such thoughts. Substitute daimyo, however, it doesn't seem to work now. With the former first, they will definitely be on guard. Put Gaara in the village and leave enough guards to keep him safe. In the end, Luo Sha had to make such a choice. He has 100 doubts about his son. Don't stop until you touch shit. Yes, naturally, Bucky didn't have any objections. Bring Gaara to the past, it is very likely to become a boost to the opponent who dares to try. As Ino Shikacho, it wasn't the fourth Hokage who turned the tide and defeated hundreds of our ninjas. Sleepy Yi would have lost. Onoki's side is still brooding over Konoha. The three Ino Shikacho families are completely ignored. This time, the victory is guaranteed, and the four major villages will join forces, and there will be no problem. Huang too said in a naive voice, Namikaze Minato's child? Let him know what real war is. Onoki didn't mean to be soft-hearted in the slightest. In the last battle, Iwagakure lost a lot of good players. Bye, watch the door for me at home. If you run around, I'll break your leg when I come back. Fourth Hokage I said to his younger brother very softly. Yo, Cloud Shinobi Village, win, over here, they're still staggering, talking about that crappy R2.1 AP. Everyone you see on the road, don't let go, kill all E. Fourth Mizukage hyphenation point Yura with a ferocious look on his face. The ninjas gathered by Kirigakure basically have killing intent on their faces. Being left in the village for too long, everyone is under a lot of pressure. This dispatch has made many people excited for a long time. Shao, it's time to go out, Pain said to several accomplices in the audience. They are Scorpion, Kakuzu, Kisame, and Hidan. Orochimaru and Itachi are kidnapped. Deidara has not been recruited yet, so this time, the Akatsuki organization dispatched a total of 3 teams. At the same time, secretly Obito will also set off with Ju. 88. He is even shorter than Mizukage. Lord Patriarch, there are about 150 boats approaching the shoreline. The number of judges should exceed 3,000. A ninja of the Aburame family, reported on Aburame Jiwewe. This time it was a war of extermination, so it's ready to go all the way. So it's a frontal attack. The people in the 4 major villages didn't think that Urik, a country's manpower, could stop the 4 of them. However, they are not all attacking. The dispatched manpower is only about 1/3 of the combat effectiveness. Because of the border, many people stayed behind. There is also Ninja Village. Therefore, the ninjas allocated to attack actually did not exceed 5,000 people per ninja village. Arrange traps, focus on procrastination, don't fight head-on. Aburame Jiwei arrange. With the order, everyone began to prepare to go. Urik's manpower gap is not very big, because there are more than 20,000 Konoha shinobi, and more than 5,000 of them are scattered all over Urik. 2,000 stayed in Wangcheng. There were 13,025 more, scattered across 4 locations. Only Kirigakure has the least number of people, and there are only about 1,000 people in total. That is, one has to fight 5. However, in terms of quality, there is a big gap. The vast majority are genin. It is incomparable with the elite troops of the 4 major villages. There are still 3 hours, and it will be dawn. Kirigakure should attack by then. Aburame Jiwei looked at the dark night sky with almost no moonlight, and gave a judgment. The dispatch of troops from the 4 major villages was not concealed too much. If you calculate it, you will know that the other party will probably do it within a day or 2. It is just above board, breaking the gameplay with one force. It is believed that Urik is absolutely resistant to such a violent attack. The Patriarch. We can't resist, the opponent has too many people. The ninja of the Aburame family said to Aburame Jiwei. He is scared. Anyone who changes is afraid of anyone. You can tell you can't beat it just by looking at it. Can Aburame, Inuzuka, Hitaki and other small families fight against one of the 5 major villages? Advertisement. It's so unrealistic. Wang freely arranges. Aburame Jiwei didn't say much. After saying this sentence, I waited quietly without doing anything. Kirigakure's ninjas, in fact, already have a part of the manpower, and have already come to the coastline. Prepare to log in. Yagura is sitting on the biggest boat, although she is short, she is very murderous. Now he has none of the ninja swordsmen. Uchiha Itachi almost killed him last time. It's just that Obito was there at the time, so Yagura didn't die. Blind eyes. Master Terumi Mei, over there are traps in the 10 o'clock direction. However, no ninjas have been found. It seems that they don't want to fight us head-on. Cheng is also one of the first people to land, also Terumi Mei. She is in charge of this landing. Go to remove the traps, land slowly, and leave room for the follow-up troops. Terumi Mei nodded, and then ordered. The ninjas of Kirigakure immediately sprang into action. He groped forward, ready to find the trap and dismantle it. What is that? Suddenly, Ching was a little shocked. He found his eyes rolled, and saw a few kilometers away, suddenly a light appeared. Blue light. Terumi Mei saw it too. He raised his head and looked at the light that shot straight into the sky in shock. The Kirigakure ninjas at sea also saw this light. One by one was a little nervous. After all, this place is about to become a battlefield. At the same time, the people in Uruk also saw it. Many people thought it was Kirigakure's means to find them in the dark. However, this light guide column is a little too thin. Only Aburame Jawei started moving directly towards the beam. When he arrived, Uzumaki Mizuki was already there. There was a sword stuck in the ground. This is a sword marked with shoes of travel, similar to the Flying Thunder God seal. It's just that the teleportation time takes 4 seconds and the cooling time is 6 hours. Haven't you started fighting yet? Advertisement? Uzumaki Mizuki asked Aburame Jawei. At this time Uzumaki Mizuki was still wearing casual clothes and looked like a child. But none of the people from Uruk who appeared later dared to look directly at this existence. Yes, it is expected that there will be a contact battle in an hour. Aburame Jawei quickly reported. Uzumaki Mizuki will appear this matter, also told the person in charge of the 4 battlefields. Uchiha Fugaku, Hyuga Haishi, Nara Shikahisa, and Aburame Shuei. However, the time of his arrival is uncertain, and at the same time, he must keep an eye on the long sword that left the coordinates. If it is destroyed, he will not arrive so soon. Clean the battlefield in half an hour, Uzumaki Mizuki said to Aburame Jawei. After finishing speaking, he directly stepped on the skylock that rose from the king's treasure house that appeared from the ground, and directly served as a minister. All retreat, waiting for orders, Aburame Jawei ordered without hesitation. There are people in the sky, Ching said quickly. Uzumaki Mizuki in the sky, constantly changing the locks of the sky alternately, came to the coastline soon. There are already ninjas directly attacking below. A water bomb rushed over, but was easily shattered by the skylock. Is this the main combat power? Yagura should be there too. If it doesn't stop him from dying here, then Three Tails will have to wait a few years before appearing. 830. As Uzumaki Mizuki spoke, his body was covered with golden armor. Then he raised his right hand, pulled out the sword of oath and victory directly from Wang Jibaokuri, and held it in his hand. That is, the king of Uruk. The person above should be Uruk's current daimyo. There is a problem, Lord Terumi Mei. Ching here is very familiar with Uruk's current information. The real body that Uzumaki Mizuki used directly, he's also a little shorter than their Mizukage. That golden armor and strange golden halo immediately made him think of Uzumaki Mizuki. Go back immediately, call Mizukage Tenjin. On Terumi Mei's side, she hastily ordered. The opponent's powerful combat power actually appeared here, and they didn't even know it beforehand. It has always been thought that Uzumaki Mizuki is staying in Wangcheng, waiting for the final battle. But soon, everyone's eyes were attracted. A bright yellow light shot straight into the sky in an instant. Different from the blue light that appeared just now, the brightness of the light this time is hundreds or thousands of times higher than that directly. The dark clouds that obscured the moonlight were instantly dispersed, revealing the light of the full moon. 89. Right wave. I like. Kirigakure is a lot of ninjas, feeling uneasy. Because unknown. The ninjutsu of light has not appeared much. But the light from the sky is too dazzling, strong energy response. Who the hell? On Yagura's side, his expression changed suddenly. Jump directly onto the roof of the cabin, and stare at the light that soars into the sky, which is about a few hundred meters away. Escape. Everyone, sink to the bottom of the sea. Then, Yin Kangfu shouted without hesitation. The nearby ninjas jumped off the boat without hesitation after hearing the order. But those who didn't hear it were completely attracted by the light. Because the yellow light suddenly expanded and became huge, and irregular wave bands appeared around it. Sword of Promised Victory, Excalibur, Uzumaki Mizuki side, no foreplay. More than 50,000 points of mana were injected into it, directly activating the Sword of Oath of Victory. The condensed rays of light directly reached hundreds of meters in length. Enough to cover the ships used for the Kirigakure landing not far away. Holding the sword in one hand, he cut it down without hesitation. The yellow light falls together, instantly hit the surface of the sea and cut it open. The sea surface was directly divided into two. The surrounding air was also directly cut open, and there was no sound on the field for a while. Boom. A mushroom cloud rose directly. Swallow those ships on the sea directly. The scope of influence is getting wider and wider. Nuclear flat Fuyuki, no kidding. A large amount of seawater evaporates. The dead body did not even leave residue, not to mention blood. The raging lasted for more than 10 seconds before the light disappeared. At the same time, the waves caused by the explosion directly swallowed the coastline, which is much bigger than the Great Waterfall technique. What kind of power is this? Terumi Mei was on the coast and was not affected. Just now, she almost felt as if the world had been cut apart. There is only that light in my eyes. The Kirigakure ninjas on the shore were almost so frightened that their legs went limp. There was not a single ship in sight at this time. All eyes were fixed on the man standing on the golden chain in midair. Advertisement, he's coming. On Ching's side, he can only act as a commentator at this time. Many ninjas want to escape, but the sky was once again covered by golden light. The crowd was so frightened that they ran away in a panic. But falling in the sky is not the destructive light just now. Instead, golden chains struck towards them. The attribute has become stronger, except for the manipulation of magic power. Other aspects of control have become weaker. On Uzumaki Mizuki's side, it was also the first time he fought head-on after his attributes became stronger. I feel that my body is slightly twisted and I feel uncomfortable. But not much. Puff puff, but suddenly, a hurried voice came from behind. Uzumaki Mizuki directly used the jump knife and disappeared in place. Boom boom boom. In midair, three-tailed beast bombs passed through the place where Uzumaki Mizuki was just now and exploded directly. Caused a huge impact. The three-tailed beast bombs rushed out of the sea just now, making a dull sound. Isn't Yura dead? Uzumaki Mizuki held the sword of the vowed victory wrapped in the Wind King's barrier, and his hands were a little itchy. The most important thing is that there are still a few hours left to go to the next venue. During this period of time, he felt that it would be good for him to exercise his body. On Yugura's side, she was completely wrapped by the tailed beast chakra, her body turned dark red, her hands were on the ground, and three tails rose behind her. It directly entered the state of the tail beast coat. At the same time, capture the position of Uzumaki Mizuki again, and continue to shoot out tailed beast bomb about the size of a human head like a mortar. Just use him and practice melee combat. Uzumaki Mizuki held the sword of the vowed victory and went straight to meet him. Wielding the invisible sword, two of the three-tailed beast bombs rushing towards him were directly sent flying, and the last one was directly chopped off from it. Then it landed on the surface of the sea, and then rushed directly towards Yura lying on the surface of the sea. Mizukage-sama is still alive, still have a chance. Very good. The surviving Kirigakure ninjas on the coast immediately let out a cry of joy. Terumi Mei hastened to gather the remaining manpower, ready to support Mizukage. But the tailed beast bomb flying over scared everyone from approaching. Now, Yura doesn't have much sense, regardless of friend or foe. As for Uzumaki Mizuki, he was a little bit flustered. Because it was the first time for such an exciting actual combat. Just relying on ordinary swordsmanship, it's a little bit reluctant. Although my physique is not much weaker than the current medical warehouse. Uzumaki Mizuki quickly swung the sword of the vowed victory, constantly grabbing Yugura's hand and blocking it. Advertisement at the same time, it is necessary to prevent him from opening his mouth suddenly and spitting out a tailed beast bomb. The two of them were fighting on the pitch-black sea, and the flames of the fight burst out. Uzumaki Mizuki enjoyed it, although it was a little strenuous. Boom! The two collided with each other heavily, and both of them retreated tens of meters directly. Yura opened his mouth without hesitation, accumulating more chakra, wanting to release a bigger tailed beast bomb. On the wave? I like. Uzumaki Mizuki had a confident smile on his face. Then he raised the sword of vowed victory, revealing its true body again. Then the yellow light particles wrapped it in an instant and gradually became larger. Roar! Yura spits out the tailed beast bomb directly. Curry stick. Uzumaki Mizuki chose the opposite wave. The opponent has infinite blue, but his own attack is stronger. Definitely stronger than this mere chakra aggregate. The dark red light of tailed beast bomb was directly equipped with that dazzling golden yellow. In an instant, the world seemed to be divided into two. Everyone on the shore was stunned. Feel the strength gap between yourself and the real strong. The yellow light seems to be stronger, Ching explained again. He can see more clearly. Mizukage-sama's tailed beast bomb was swallowed by that light. Go all out and let me, King Nuos, fall down, come on. Uzumaki Mizuki injects more magic into the sword of vowed victory. In an instant, the radiance doubled directly. The sea surface was once again divided by two forces. Naturally, Yura was not to be outdone, and output chakra desperately. Although the tailed beast chakra is nearly infinite. But the utilization rate is too low. If the tailed beast bomb uses chakra to reach 5 points, then it can reach 30 points through the use of the sword of oath of victory. But the deviation sword can reach 50 points, or even stronger. Yugura's limit for unleashing the tailed beast bomb is there, and Uzumaki Mizuki just needs to unleash attacks beyond that limit. According to chakra, there must not be as many as Yura. However, it is better to equip yourself. The golden light directly pressed over the dark red-tailed beast bomb. Then swallow Yura directly, 90. Yura dies, picks up a blind eye for nothing. The mushroom cloud rose again. The night is directly illuminated. But it goes off again soon. In this wave of Yura, all the people who were directly bombarded disappeared. The recovery power brought by the tailed beast is no match for ninja art, meiotic regeneration. Not to mention not even close. Hey, equipment suppression, it's so cool, is this the RMB player? Uzumaki Mizuki felt good all over, although it is far from faster than using the deviation sword. But this kind of actual combat is of great help to him. It can increase his actual combat experience and at the same time control his strength more stably. After finishing Yura, Uzumaki Mizuki went on to capture the Kirigakure ninjas on the shore. In less than 10 minutes, all the ninjas on the field were caught. Oh, there is also a chance to pick up equipment. Uzumaki Mizuki found out. Terumi Mei naturally noticed it too, but she didn't pay much attention to it, but focused on Ching. Ching struggled frantically, but couldn't break free from the skylock. Ordinary people can't break the iron chain with physical fitness. Unless you use ninjutsu, but for ninjutsu that needs to be sealed, there is only revolving heaven for Muji ninjutsu that can break free from the chains of the sky. Or 8 inner gates, or something like Susanoo. 730 the last time, one-handed seal is required. Ching can do it, but what he is good at is water style, so it is useless at all. Illusion Sharingan. On Uzumaki Mizuki's side, he directly used illusion to control Ao. Ao immediately resisted, but Uzumaki Mizuki kept infusing Shisui's Sharingan with magic, easily overpowering him. Then he took out the talisman that broke the precepts of all things, and lightly poked it on the blue-eyed blindfold, breaking the seal on it. Then tear off the blindfold directly, cut out the white eyes, and put them in Wang Jibao curry. Now that the Hyuga clan is their own after all, it seems a bit unkind to directly grab the attention. But this kind of foreign enemy's eyes, he will not be polite. And there are a whole bunch of them on the moon. The second is that I can use the talisman of breaking the commandments of all things to remove the caged bird, and I can also get the white eyes. Blind eyes. Then, Uzumaki Mizuki passed through the king's treasure house easily, controlled the white eyes, and then used the ability of clairvoyance. Scanned around. Bang bang bang. The 3 locks of the sky were scattered directly and pierced into the ground. Then the tip of the skylock directly condensed a Rasengan and exploded. Advertisement kill the next 3 white Zetsu directly. It seems that Akatsuki is also taking action this time. Uzumaki Mizuki is no surprise. White Zetsu has a strong ability to hide its breath and can disguise itself as a tree. But not immune to white-eyed clairvoyance. What? Ching let out a scream, because Uzumaki Mizuki dispelled the illusion on him. And Uzumaki Mizuki uses Sharingan, which he uses on Terumi Mei. ZZZ. But Terumi Mei, 1 step faster. The scorching lava melted the child's arm-thin skylock, breaking free from the shackles. However, Shisui's Sharingan does work well. If you don't have a strong enough spirit, you will at least think about it. Before she had time to attack, she was bound again by the skylock. But this time, his limbs were directly pulled by the 4 skylocks, and he was hung half a meter above the ground. Illusion Sharingan. Then, increase the magic power injection and strengthen the power. After the information was obtained, the vortex water didn't care much. There were about 120 people caught on the shore, not many. In the sea, there are still many lucky people who survived. But Uzumaki and Mizuki didn't go after him because there was no threat. The rest is enough for Aburame Jawei to solve. Kirigakure should be the weakest, this time the loss is heavy. But Aburame Jawei's side is also the weakest group. Next, where should we go? Ino Shikacho, or Hyuga? Uzumaki Mizuki sat down on a rock here, thinking about the next step. Uchiha is the fiercest here, 2 Mangekyo Sharingan is no joke. And they all got first-generation cells from Orochimaru, which is really powerful. So they can use the kaleidoscope, CFFF, Sharingan without any worries, and they can use it when they are about to go blind. So, Uzumaki Mizuki prepared to go to this battlefield last. After a while, Aburame Jawei and others came over. The 2 consecutive waves of impact just now made them feel tremendous pressure. But when they arrived on the field, they didn't find many enemies. Everyone was shocked, but they were still very fast at work. Bind and seal these ninjas. Advertisement Uzumaki Mizuki told them to brainwash these people, and those who are willing to work hard will stay. If you don't want to, just make calculations. I specifically told Sha Qing and Terumi Mei that they might be able to take advantage of it, and if they don't agree, they will be locked up first. Then it disappeared from their eyes. Location of Cloud Shinobi Village Ninja. Hyuga Haishi asked while looking at the map. People from the Hyuga clan hurriedly came to report the current situation to him. In war, the Hyuga clan has a great advantage. The opponent's formation basically has no possibility of hiding. However, against Cloud Shinobi Village, which happened to be a reckless play, the effect was not very good. For Cloud Shinobi Village, Hyuga Haishi naturally has no good face. My younger brother was killed by them. It's just that it's impossible to win, so we can only hold off and wait for the king to arrive. Head Hyuga, this time, what are our chances of winning? Sarutobi Asuma asked a little decadently. His father died, and Konoha had changed his face. In order to protect the Sarutobi clan, he had to bow his head. Afterwards, the Sarutobi clan was not cleansed, but they were also isolated. Now regarding Sarutobi Hiruzen's persecution of Senju and Uchiha, no one will stop it. Everyone knows that Sarutobi Hiruzen is so prosperous now because it received Senju's inheritance. As long as it lasts for a day, you should be able to win 100%. Hyuga Haishi said directly. In the past, only first generation and Uchiha Madara could change the battlefield by one person. But now, there is one more, it is their king Uzumaki Mizuki. But Uzumaki Mizuki just told him he would come and let him hold off as long as possible. But when it will come, there is no clear statement. That's good, Asuma doesn't have so many thoughts now. I just want to keep the Sarutobi clan, and if it can continue, it is already considered good. He was not so impressed by the idea of revenge. When he left in anger, it was also because he felt that his father's methods were too insidious. The Patriarch, Cloud Shinobi Village, has launched an attack. People from the Hyuga clan broke into the tent directly and reported to Hyuga Heishi. It's really brave to let a bunch of trash stop me, that brat. Fourth Raikage stood directly at the front, looking at Urik's line in the distance with disdain. In his opinion, he can cross this front at any time, and no one can stop him. 91. The reckless play of Cloud Shinobi Village. The tactics of Cloud Shinobi Village are very simple, a 1v1 battle between men. After rushing over, everyone started to single out to see who was the best. There are basically no tactics or anything. Knowing that the Hyuga clan is responsible, a sneak attack is basically impossible, so he fought in an upright manner. However, on Hyuga Hieshi's side, what is required is to delay, so naturally he will not come to wrestle with the unhidden village. While retreating, they set up traps to delay the actions of Cloud Shinobi Village. The fighting began around dawn. More than 2 hours passed, and Cloud Shinobi Village didn't have time to fight Urik's army. There were casualties on both sides, but not many. But Hyuga Heishi is under a lot of pressure. Because of the strength of Cloud Shinobi Village, it ranks in the top 2 among the 5 major villages, and is the only ninja village that can be as tough as Konoha. It's very difficult to delay until this time tomorrow. Hyuga Heishi watched the battle with blank eyes. It is also impossible to arrange traps indefinitely, and it takes time. And there are constantly ninjas from Cloud Shinobi Village, bypassing the traps, and need to send someone else to solve them. It's not the particularity of the Hyuga clan, it is estimated that they are all directly fighting now. Too slow. Fourth Raikage was very upset. This kind of protracted fighting is not what he likes. Master Raikage, now we have the advantage. In a day, we should be able to break through the defense line and drive straight in. Darui was on his knees, reporting to Fourth Raikage. It is Toyo who is in charge of the frontal battlefield. And he is responsible for intelligence transmission and collection, is the person in charge of Anbu. I'll go on the field myself, and end this boring battle early. On the side of Fourth Raikage, the body has already started to move. Since the last Ninja World War, he hasn't done anything seriously for a long time. Master Raikage, why bother to risk yourself, just leave it to us. Darui hastily persuaded. Shadow's strength is not invincible. Super Cage level, to be able to cross the battlefield. However, Super Cage level has not appeared for decades, so many people have forgotten it. Go away, none of these trash is a match for this old man. Fourth Raikage snorted coldly, then he took off his shadow cap directly. Then the electric arcs all over his body rushed around, and then he exploded violently, and the surrounding gravel was directly blown away, just like the explosion in the Dragon Ball. Chakra's hair was directly blown out by the body, and the whole hairstyle was like a hedgehog. Darui also wanted to persuade him not to take risks. But Fourth Raikage has disappeared in place, only a trace of afterimage can be seen. Quick, what's that? Advertisement Hyuga Heishi has been near the front line, doing his best to direct. But he turned his eyes and noticed a figure approaching quickly. Bang bang bang, at the same time as the sound approached. The ambush explosive trap is directly activated and explodes. But it didn't hurt the man at all. Kanai's shuriken densely packed like a torrential rain could not hurt him. It's the Fourth Raikage, Hyuga Heishi said angrily. He didn't expect that a shadow would end so quickly. In the past ninja wars, it was basically ordinary ninjas who fought for a while. Consume each other's strength. In the final battle, Ying will appear and fight against the opponent's Ying. But now, he rushed up directly, as if he was coming to die. A large number of people were killed by Fourth Raikage. The body of a normal ninja, where it can block the normal attacks of the Fourth Raikage. Being hit by this speed is no worse than being hit by a high-speed rail. It's just that the weight is a little lighter, otherwise it is estimated that if it hits one directly, that person will be smashed into blood immediately. Group A, follow me and stop him. Hyuga Hieshi's face was uncertain. Finally decided to do it. Greeting the advanced combat power prepared in advance, they rushed directly towards the Fourth Raikage. About 10 Jonin, half of them belong to the Hyuga clan, and the next strongest is Sarutobi Asuma. I'm coming, you spread out. Hyuga Heishi saw Fourth Raikage rushing towards them. For bullying ordinary ninjas, Fourth Raikage is not so concerned. Taking the enemy's head out of thousands of troops is his favorite thing to do. Kill the opposing general. Revolving heaven, Hyuga Heishi naturally does not choose hard steel. He can also see that the opponent's destructive power is so strong, because of the increased speed. As long as the opponent is forced to stop, he can still keep up. The Hyuga clan fights in close quarters, absolutely not afraid of anyone. Lightning-style lariat. On the side of Fourth Raikage, naturally they are not afraid of toughness. Raise your right hand directly, and the arcs are flying around, strengthening the sharpness and firmness of the arm of the stone. Boom. The right hand directly hit the high-speed spinning revolving heaven. ZZZ. Sparks flew from the top of the hit. Advertisement. Asking for flowers. At the same time, the revolving heaven, which was about 2 meters in diameter, was suddenly suppressed to less than 1 meter 5. And still shrinking. Revolving heaven's chakra and Fourth Raikage collided with electric currents. There was a stalemate for about 2 seconds. Behind 4th Raikage, 2 people from the Hyuga clan appeared, and they had already performed the 8 trigrams palms move. 8 trigrams air wall palm. The two teamed up to unleash an enhanced version of the 8 trigrams air palm. But he hit a blank directly, and finally hit Hyuga Hiashi's revolving heaven. Hyuga clan, something. But, because of it, on the side of 4th Raikage, he was already standing aside, looking at the people surrounding him, with a sneer on his face. Not far away, Darui was still leading people to attack, ready to come to help. The battle lasted about 20 minutes. On Urik's side, people were constantly injured and lost their combat capabilities. The degree of suppression of 4th Raikage is getting lower and lower. As long as I find the opportunity to use the 3-second chakra knife unlimitedly, I can kill him. Sarutobi Asuma gasped and said to Hyuga Hiashi, who was on the side. If I can hit him, the gentle fist method will directly seal his acupuncture points. Hyuga Hiashi was speechless. Just can't hit it, it's so uncomfortable. Basically passive defense. Although there are white eyes, their reaction speed is still slow. This is still the case with supercilious eyes. If there were no supercilious eyes, he would have already fallen down. I'll stop him, you are the commander-in-chief, you can't have an accident here. Said Sarutobi Asuma. He made a plan to dedicate his life. It is hoped that it can be exchanged for Wang's recognition of the Sarutobi family. Master Raikage, Dao is alright. Darui arrived late. Bring over about 5 Anbu. Seeing these people, Hyuga Hiashi's complexion became even worse. No more manpower, go get rid of them. Some strength, but not a threat to me. Get rid of them, and then drive straight in, directly to the royal city of Urik. For 4th Raikage, I also felt refreshed today, that is. Those with supercilious eyes will find out first. Hyuga Hiashi saw it, and it was not very conspicuous in the daytime to teleport the speed of light. 92. V's 4th Raikage, the fastest solver, also noticed by 4th Raikage et al. That light beam, after all, is not very far from here. Except for the ninjas on both sides who are fighting with all their strength on the frontal battlefield, they have no time to pay attention. Those who are closer to the light beam have noticed it. It's somewhat similar to Tiasong technique. 4th Raikage raised an eyebrow. He is not in a hurry now, because he feels that the situation is under his control. But Hyuga Hiashi got a little excited. He rolled his eyes and saw the figure of Uzumaki Mizuki. Someone is approaching. Darui pulled out the ninja sword behind him, ready to kill the opponent. This is the enemy's hinterland, and it cannot be one of our own. Come over, just a few of them. Boom! But he rushed over and disappeared from everyone's eyes for a few seconds. Just like a cannonball, the 340 flew backwards and came back, hitting the trunk of a big tree, and the group stopped. The chest was full of blood, a wound from the left button to the right abdomen, dripping with blood. Seeing this scene, 4th Raikage tensed up, and looked at the position where Darui flew upside down. Fortunately, I chose your side. I know that Cloud Shinobi Village doesn't talk about martial arts here, and Raikage probably will do it directly. Iwagakure and Sanagakure will definitely stand off, and Cloud Shinobi Village will definitely attack directly. Standing on the skylock, it was Uzumaki Mizuki who slowly appeared. I wanted to go step by step, but, too short, totally lacking momentum. So I still step on the lock of the sky and look a little more arrogant. Oh, the Kid King who annexed the Fire Nation is here. On the 4th Raikage side, naturally they will not be afraid. Seeing this guy, he knew who it was. He sneered without hesitation. Haki, who only uses disgusting means to grab other people's things, makes people feel sick. Your brother's revenge, I'm here today to help you avenge it. Uzumaki Mizuki said very calmly. This level of trash talk can't compare to Zon. Mom and Dad are flying in the sky, they can't get down at all. The winner is king, although you have done something I have never dared to do. But, I'm not a brat like you who can judge at will. Advertisement. As soon as 4th Raikage finished speaking, the whole person disappeared directly in place. When it reappeared, it was already beside Uzumaki Mizuki. But what greeted him was densely packed skylocks. A punch on the skylock directly broke more than a dozen chains, but he couldn't go any further. And he had to retreat, because behind the broken chain, there were more chains rushing towards him. The people who call us back, don't approach the battlefield. Uzumaki Mizuki did not continue the conversation with 4th Raikage, but greeted Hyuga Hiashi. 4th Raikage is too slick, exactly the type he can't deal with. It is a little troublesome to use illusions with Sharingan. Because illusion is essentially a way to interfere with the opponent's body chakra. The 4th Raikage chakra flows too fast, and the second one is too violent. Just like Guy opened the 8 gate, the violent chakra couldn't use illusion at all. As for the pupil technique, it is now a cooldown. So 4th Raikage wants to run, he really doesn't have much to do. Yes. Hyuga Hiashi naturally has no opinion. Obey Uzumaki Mizuki's orders without reservation. Call the surrounding companions directly to retreat. A few Anbu brought by 4th Raikage still want to catch up. But it was directly blocked by the Lock of the Sky. Then the Lock of the Sky attacked Darui, who was injured and still half-lived. 4th Raikage rushed forward without hesitation, lightning style, cut off several skylocks and resisted Darui. Seeing this, Uzumaki Mizuki continued to attack the other Cloud Shinobi village Anbu. Court death. Seeing this scene, 4th Raikage was excited. Instead of dodging again, he charged at Uzumaki Mizuki again, ready to finish off the troublemaker. 4th Raikage is very important to his subordinates, so he doesn't want to see his own people die in front of his eyes. So Uzumaki Mizuki's actions made him even more angry. Head straight for Uzumaki Mizuki. Then he saw the overwhelming skylocks, no matter from which side, he could see the golden halo, and then the chains came out continuously. Let me see how fast the #1 ninja world is now. Uzumaki Mizuki is also ready to do it himself. Dump the experience. It will take some time for the people in the family to retreat. Until then, just play with this guy. Advertisement. From King's Treasure Curry, draw the transparent sword of vowed victory and hold it in your hand. At the same time, a halo about the size of a fist appeared on the left and right shoulders, the Sharingan on the left and the white eyes on the right appeared steadily in the middle. Lateral bolt of pain. 4th Raikage didn't think so much. Directly with a hand knife, he slashed towards Uzumaki Mizuki. Without hesitation, Uzumaki Mizuki raised the sword of the vowed victory and faced directly. Boom. The result was that Uzumaki and Mizuki were sent flying. The first time I was injured, I lost dozens of points of blood. Ahem. Uzumaki Mizuki gets up from the smashed tree. In fact, Uzumaki and Mizuki are stronger in terms of physical fitness between the two. But after the lightning-style armor and the speed bonus, the power it exerts is much stronger than Uzumaki Mizuki without any bonus. However, the reflex nerves kept up and lost in motor function. This is what Uzumaki Mizuki is not good at. After all, there have been very few actual combats, but he can keep up in the future. 4th Raikage, of course, is much stronger than Yagura in Tailed Beast Code mode. He can accumulate attacks at one point, able to easily shatter Susanoo's skeletal state. That's all, kid. A mocking smile appeared on 4th Raikage's face. Uzumaki Mizuki's arrogant look just now made him very unhappy. Sure enough, I am still not very good at melee combat, so I need to practice more when I go back. It's still direct, crushing it with destruction, it seems easier. Spin 1.8 Vortex. Mizuki looked at 4th Raikage and said helplessly. But once the words are finished, a large number of vortexes exuding golden light appeared directly on the ground. Then, a large number of skylocks rose directly into the sky, merging into huge skylocks in midair. 4th Raikage was taken aback. This range covers thousands of square meters around. Grade A. No, this is an S-rank ninjutsu. We can't let him go any longer. Killing the operator is the best solution. 4th Raikage rushed towards Uzumaki Mizuki again without hesitation. But a large number of skylocks rising from the ground formed an obstacle, making it impossible for him to accelerate in a straight line. 93. Despicable Uzumaki Mizuki. I'm an archer, bowman, and I'm still not good enough to use the saber, swordsman, fighting style, but what I'm better at now is to use the caster, warlock, fighting style and fight with firepower coverage. Uzumaki Mizuki directly stepped on the huge skylock and rose into midair. It is easy to be hammered on the ground, but in midair, 4th Raikage's movement is not so flexible. After all, he doesn't know how to use steps, come on. But 4th Raikage, stepping directly on the skylock, rushed towards Uzumaki Mizuki. But the dense and small skylocks almost blocked his way to Uzumaki Mizuki. It annoyed him so much. Aren't you hurrying to rescue your men? I think they may be more than half dead or injured. Uzumaki Mizuki said to 4th Raikage, who kept chopping the skylock with his hand knife. If it was 3rd Raikage, it would be a little troublesome. The opponent's strongest spear might be able to go on a rampage all the way. But in terms of destructive power, 4th Raikage is far worse than 3rd Raikage. His strength is far inferior to that of his father. I will only use this despicable 25 method, there's a kind of one-on-one with me. Although 4th Raikage didn't know how strong the destructive power of this huge chain could be. But it can be felt that just hitting it down can easily kill many ninjas. Just now Uzumaki Mizuki asked Hyuga Heishi to call Urik's people to retreat, but he knew it. I didn't run away, you can touch me before you talk. Uzumaki Mizuki said very directly. At the same time, he has been watching the situation on the field with blank eyes. Urik's team retreated quickly, because the combat method arranged by Hyuga Heishi is to delay and not fight head-on. If it weren't for 4th Raikage breaking through the trap area, it is estimated that there is no time to fight the ninjas of Cloud Shinobi Village. 4th Raikage made a gap, but that didn't make all of Cloud Shinobi Village's ninjas go too fast. The number of people fighting Cloud Shinobi Village head-on is only about 100 people. And they are already retreating at this time. After determining the position of his own people, Uzumaki Mizuki did not hesitate to do it. Directly control the huge skylock that has been formed, and fall towards the team of Cloud Shinobi Village. This destructive power is not inferior to the destructive power caused by the first generation's top Buddha wood-style fist. Hateful. Seeing this scene, 4th Raikage's eyes were tearing apart. And the skylock he was standing on would also rush towards the camp of Cloud Shinobi Village. Uzumaki Mizuki stepped on a skylock rising from the king's treasure house under his feet. Advertisement. 4th Raikage can't help it, large-scale attacks are indeed not his ability. He could only break the huge skylock he was stepping on with all his strength, reducing one attack. And Uzumaki Mizuki directly came to the team of Cloud Shinobi Village by stepping on the skylock in midair. It was quickly discovered by the ninjas of Cloud Shinobi Village, and they used lightning style one after another. But Uzumaki and Mizuki didn't block, allowing the opponent to attack. There is no way to break through the defense. The defense of the golden armor cannot be broken by ordinary ninjutsu. Even if it is 4th Raikage, the attack brought by the speed bonus only makes Uzumaki Mizuki lose a bloody skin. Aren't you going to run away? Just now it was just an appetizer, now I'm going to do it for real. On Uzumaki Mizuki's side, holding the sword of the vowed victory, he activated it directly. The effect of the Wind King's enchantment disappeared immediately, revealing its delicate true appearance. Little ghost, if you have the ability to confront me head-on. 4th Raikage saw his village's position almost destroyed. There were many casualties, more than 500 people, let him dry steam. But the air-to-air aspect, and the chains that kept appearing all the time, gave him a very headache. Then let's go head-to-head, this time I will attack you, not other ninjas. As soon as Uzumaki Mizuki finished speaking, the light of the sword of vowed victory shot straight into the sky. What is it again? 4th Raikage was shocked and furious. He actually didn't know any information about this Kid King. Originally, I thought that if the 4 major villages joined forces to attack, Uruk, which was renamed from the Land of Fire, would definitely be defeated immediately. But I didn't expect that the strength of this child king is actually so powerful. I can't help myself. He intends to chase the ninjas of Uruk, forcing Uzumaki Mizuki to return to aid. But I feel that before I killed a few, Cloud Shinobi Village was all dead. Curry stick. Uzumaki Mizuki slammed down the sworn sword of victory. The rays of light that are hundreds of meters long cut down directly from midair. Then Uzumaki Mizuki, brandishing the sword of oath of victory, swept across the ground directly. Divide everything it touches into 2, trees, rocks, including hills. The shock erupted only when the golden light disappeared. The surrounding air was swept away. For a while, the sound could not be transmitted. Advertisement: a large number of ninjas who couldn't dodge were directly swallowed by the light that was as wide as nearly a person's height. Unlucky, even the lower body is gone. The upper body is still alive, vomiting blood and screaming. The ninjas of Cloud Shinobi Village suffered heavy casualties. For a time, there was not even 1 out of 10, but 4th Raikage survived. Because he didn't choose to be tough, but to avoid. The skylock is not easy to break, but the trees and rocks are still very easy. He rushed out of attack range. I will kill you, Uzumaki Mizuki. 4th Raikage is really angry this time, and bears a grudge against Uzumaki Mizuki. This time they brought nearly 4,000 ninjas, and more than 3,000 were arranged to go to the battlefield. At this time, there were almost less than 300 left. How did you escape? Are you afraid? Uzumaki Mizuki unhurriedly came to the sky above 4th Raikage. Reasonably speaking, 947 and these people would definitely not listen. Make a loud noise to show them, although they will be scared away, but the possibility of backstabbing is very high. But killing a few and letting them experience despair is easier to solve. I underestimated you. You won't have another chance like this. 4th Raikage stared at Uzumaki Mizuki, as if killing his father an enemy, and wanted to remember Uzumaki Mizuki forever. He wasn't going to procrastinate any longer, because I don't feel the possibility of victory. Then run away. This time, it's not Cloud Shinobi Village's calendar. I thought it was to abuse the dishes, but I didn't expect to be abused by the dishes. After finishing the harsh words, 4th Raikage ran away without hesitation. Because there is no victory in sight, it is useless to stay, and so many people cannot be saved. Running so fast, Uzumaki Mizuki was speechless. However, he also had killing intent on 4th Raikage. This man is fast. Even the Super Cage level class and first generation probably couldn't catch him who wanted to escape. After a while, he ran out for thousands of meters and couldn't catch up at all. Uzumaki Mizuki doesn't have much in the way right now either. And there are other battlefields to take into account, so I didn't chase him. Anyway, you have a home to guard, next time see if you don't even want a home. 94. The time of the old guy is over. Hyuga plus Sarutobi, and many ordinary ninjas, it's so miserable against a ninja village. Ino Shikacho, they shouldn't be able to withstand it. Uzumaki Mizuki is cleaning up the battlefield. There are white eyes. The ninjas in Cloud Shinobi Village are basically unable to escape. He didn't let Uruk's people do it, because there was only one casualty, and there would be no points for next year. For this kind of thing, it is natural to work harder by yourself, and it is better than letting the workers under your hands go out of the group. But the situation is indeed dangerous. Fortunately, considering the attributes of the 4th Raikage reckless, so come here first. If you go to Ino Shikacho to deal with Iwagakure first, then the team here will suffer heavy casualties. Iwagakure's battle line, as Uzumaki Mizuki thought, was relatively delayed, and the attack was not so fast. Because of the last ninja war, Iwagakure was suppressed by Konoha. Now against the Uruk team, there is still a bit of psychological pressure. So instead of going forward bravely, I chose to advance slowly. And Naraluju received the order to delay, so she was naturally willing to cooperate. At the same time, I also tried to find a way to act more realistically, 1 step forward, 3 steps back, so that Iwagakure also thought that the enemy was not manned enough and the strength was not strong. But there is a certain ability to counterattack, so it is best to advance slowly. And Onoki has lived for so long, so he is naturally not in such a hurry. He feels that Uruk must be struggling if the battle line drags on. After all, in the 4-way battlefield, if any side can't stand it, it will bring huge pressure to Uruk. So Onoki is not in a hurry at all. Master Tsuchikage, according to this speed, in 5 days, we will be able to eliminate this Uruk army in one go. Iwagakure's ninja, reporting to Onokakai. Both sides have losses to each other, but Uruk has a little more. But the casualties did not exceed 100. Both sides were somewhat restrained, and did not intend to make a decisive battle so quickly. Continue to maintain this speed, advance slowly, and reduce losses. Onoki nodded, and then ordered. He didn't want to lose too many people. But it still needs to be completed within a certain period of time. Because of the name of the land of Earth, the daimyos of various countries all hope that ninja village in their own country can also lose part of the people after killing Uruk this time. In this way, they can use money and other methods to obtain more authority in ninja village. For example, put your own people in and so on. It's not all about killing Uruk. Advertisement. It's different from the kind of alliance that Ninja War fought against Obito. Everyone has their own plans, and it is not a concerted attack at all. So the attack methods are all different. The goal this time is to find a way to get Konoha's legacy. It is also possible to incorporate several families. The strength has been maintained, and the daimyo has no choice but to get Iwagakure. Onoki thought in his mind. He was thinking this time, because he made a fortune. Let Iwagakure get more benefits. For the order of the daimyo, it is enough for Mingzan to sneak in secretly. It's not a big problem. By tomorrow morning, there should be no more than 500 casualties. Nara Shirju came to a conclusion. Collision between the two sides will still kill people. This loss is unavoidable without causing a major war. Unless you give up your defense and stick to it, there will be more casualties. So now I can only drag on. If you can't wait for Uzumaki Mizuki's arrival, Moriya Shikahisa will have other ideas. Probably persist until the moment of defeat, and then choose to surrender. He is not the same as Uchiha, not so loyal to Uzumaki Mizuki. However, completing the task is still the first goal. At dusk, a beam of light directly attracted everyone's attention. Seeing this beam of light, Nara was relieved for a long time. Iwagakure's fighting power is much stronger than expected. On Onoki's side, all the elites were dispatched to reduce losses. Curry stick. When Uzumaki Mizuki came down, he looked around with his blank eyes and found that the two sides were not fighting together. So go ahead without hesitation. Iwagakure's ninjas were completely caught off guard, and they were killed and injured in an instant. A huge mushroom cloud rose directly into the sky. Devours everything around it, trees, rocks, bodies. This operation directly frightened Onoki to rush out from behind the position and float in midair. He looked at the attack in amazement. Advertisement. He didn't resist the shockwave brought by the explosion. What happened? Onoki hadn't had time to think about it. Several golden chains came directly towards him again. Onoki nimbly dodged the attack of the chain, and at the same time condensed earth balls around him, repelling the skylock. Let's face the judgment. Uzumaki Mizuki did not know when he appeared in Iwagakure's position. Then directly raise the vowed victory sword, activate Curry stick, directly here and sweep around. Dust escape primary realm stripping technique. Naturally, Onoki couldn't sit still. When Uzumaki Mizuki swung the sword of Oath of Victory in full swing, he also attacked Uzumaki Mizuki. But Uzumaki Mizuki used the jumping knife to disappear in front of Onoki at the moment when the dust escape surrounded him. And Iwagakure's ninjas suffered heavy casualties, except for some ninjas who were dispersed to a farther front and survived. As long as they were close to Uzumaki Mizuki, they basically hiccuped. Brute. Onoki's eyes were bloodshot. Those brought here are all elites. And his son Wangtu, he was killed. How could Onoki feel nothing about the pain of losing his son? Looking at the battlefield below the ground, which was almost cut horizontally, he felt a huge pressure in his heart. At the same time, he also recognized this person. He should be the king of Uruk, and also the son of Golden Shining. Flying Thunder God technique? That's all Onogi could think of. But if this is the case, for this enemy, his dust escape will hardly be effective. Several skylocks struck from behind him. But Onoki is also very flexible, and his perception is not weak, so he directly distanced himself. At the same time, use the dust escape to destroy the skylock. The days of the old guys are over, so, please go to hell. Uzumaki Mizuki held the sword of the vowed victory, and said to Onoki very calmly. It has ninjutsu with real damage, but if it can't hit someone, the effect will be the same. Killing him is not difficult. 95. I am good at fighting magicians. The title of Tsuchikage is not given for nothing. Onoki glared at Uzumaki Mizuki. Then, use dust escape without hesitation. The dust escape is formed extremely fast, and it is also a Muji ninjutsu. The white border directly wraps Uzumaki Mizuki. Wow. However, Uzumaki Mizuki directly cut open the transparent surrounding with the sword of Oath of Victory. In addition to being able to release waves, the Sword of Vowed Victory is also very sharp. After attaching the magic power, it is enough to cut ninjutsu. Illusion Sharingan, while cutting the dust escape. The king's treasure house unfolded, and Shisui's Sharingan directly used illusion to attack Onoki. Although Onoki reacted quickly, his body still stiffened for a moment. The Skylock rushed directly in front of him. When he recovered, the Skylock had already locked one of his legs. Onoki used the dust escape to shatter the Skylock. And the sword that vowed to win once again accumulates light. X Curry Stick. The starting value of this thing is similar to that of the Deviation Sword. Uzumaki Mizuki now chooses 10,000 magic points once, so the consumption is not very large. But the destructive power is not weak, and the physical strength of the ninja basically cannot block this attack. The golden light directly brushed against Onoki and rushed past. Seeing Onoki dodging, Uzumaki Mizuki waved the Sword of Vowed Victory directly, and directly changed the direction of the 910 beam of light. Ultralight Heavy Rock Technique. Onoki knew that he couldn't resist, so naturally he had to run away. Choose to reduce body weight and move around in snakeskin. Burst. Seeing this, Uzumaki and Mizuki didn't continue because it wouldn't last long. He's not infinite blue either. This energy was directly detonated. The impact force exploded and was thrown in all directions. Onoki was also affected, unable to stabilize his figure for a while, rolling in the air. The Lock of the Sky strikes again. Every time I see Wong make a move, his strength will become stronger. Advertisement on Nara Shikaku's side. Watching the battle in the sky through a telescope, he couldn't help but feel the pressure. Ino Shikacho seems to have no chance to resist in the future. Then, there is only one way to go to the dark. Neither Yamanaka Ino nor Akamichi Choji spoke. After all, their relationship with Sarutobi Hiruzen was very good in the past. My father's generation rose together with Sarutobi Hiruzen, and Ino Shikacho was not so brilliant back then. But now it seems that they have a chance to make Ino Shikacho stronger this time. The fight, CFEI, lasted about 10 minutes. Uzumaki Mizuki finally won. Onoki thought about dying together, so he surrounded the two of them together with a huge dust trap. But Uzumaki Mizuki directly used the talisman that broke the commandments of all things to easily break it, and then used the Sword of Vowed Victory to directly cut off Inoju's head. It's really useful for magic treasures. Among the 5 shadows, only 4th Raikage runs fast, there is no way to limit it. On Uzumaki Mizuki's side, it's no surprise. Onoki is a complete mage, and he can't do close combat at all. Although he has rich combat experience, if ninjutsu is ineffective, his strength will be nothing. Clean up the battlefield, stay those who are willing to surrender, and kill if you don't. Uzumaki Mizuki came down to ask Nara Shikahisa, and then disappeared in front of their eyes. Naturally, Nara did not dare to ask Uzumaki where Mizuki went, and followed orders directly. I also breathed a sigh of relief. In fact, in addition to the manpower of the 4 major villages, there are also some small ninja villages, but these are all small troubles. As for Uzumaki Mizuki, they are going to deal with these teams from Shounen Village. Kirigakure is near the sea, and there are no other ninjas except for a Garbage Star Ninja Village. On the side of Cloud Shinobi Village, the Kingdom of Iron does not participate in the war. The Yinin village of Tanokuni is Orochimaru's subordinate, and Orochimaru naturally won't allow anyone to participate. There is no one in the Land of Snow. As for Iwagakure, there are a little more ninja villages. Longyan Village and Kaoin Village have all dispatched troops. Uzumaki Mizuki is exactly where these guys went to clean up. Fire Style Great Fireball Technique. N. The people of the Uchiha clan teamed up to unleash Fire Style. Directly push Sanagakure's ninja back. The puppet master does not need to use his own puppets, for fear of being burned by fire. Only puppets made of special metals can be immune to Fire Style. The Uchiha family really lives up to their reputation. Advertisement Luo Shaw was behind the battle line, looking at the flames illuminating the night sky ahead. He felt a bit of a headache. Although Sanagakure's offensive speed is not slow. But Uruk resisted very hard. Both sides lost a lot of manpower. The black flame just now was finally extinguished. Thanks to Keisuke-sama's timely response, those who were engulfed in flames were buried with sand. Otherwise, I don't know what to do. On Baki's side, the little one said flatteringly. The battle here is very intense, even if it's a delay. But Luosha wants to get the fastest attack to Uruk King City, which proves that Sanagakure is better than other ninja villages. Secondly, it is to stabilize his position. He became Fungying, not because everyone chose him, but because he had to. The death of 3rd Keisuke was too strange. He didn't have much support for his position. After so many years, there are still a few forces that will restrain him. I don't think he has any impressive record. So this time, he hopes to show those old things in the village that he is very fierce by virtue of his record of defeating Uchiha and killing the capital of Uruk. So, Sanagakure's offensive is very strong. That's the pupil art of the Uchiha clan. It's too weird, it can only be sealed. If I was directly entangled, it would be too late to seal, and I would be burned to death. This is also the reason why Luo Sha has been at the end. He is afraid of death. Mangekyo Sharingan really has too much deterrent power in the ninja world. Just like wood style, few people have seen it now, and when they see wood style, they will naturally be a little scared. Itachi, are your eyes okay? Fugaku looked at his son with some concern. Although my own son had done something rebellious and immoral in the past. But in the end, I still didn't do that thing, so it can be redeemed. The people in Uchiha also had complicated hearts towards Itachi, and finally accepted it silently without saying anything else. Nothing serious, Itachi shook his head. I used Amaterasu just now, but he has been releasing it, covering hundreds of meters, and the consumption is huge. It puts a lot of burden on the body, because at that time, Tsunagakure had the possibility of breaking through the defense line for a while, and many people would be killed or injured. Seeing this, Itachi did not hesitate to use the pupil technique to force Tsunagakure's ninjas back. 96. Most troublesome guy, Rinnegan? The current situation is really troublesome. Luo Sha frowned. His expectations were broken, and the matter of speeding through the Uric battlefield was not as simple as he imagined. Facing Uchiha's father and son, he felt like he had no chance of winning. He is Feng Ying. Uchiha is really not the actual controller of this Uric. It's outrageous for a child to command a strong man like Uchiha. At the same time, Luo Sha had doubts about the existence of Uzumaki Mizuki. How can such powerful characters as Uchiha Fugaku and Uchiha Itachi be inferior to others? After all, this is the enemy that even he, as Kazunami, feels great pressure. But now, he doesn't have time to think so much. If there is no way to speed through, then we can only reduce losses and seek stability. After all, if you forcibly rush through the defense line, you will lose too many people, and you will not bring any great benefits, and you will definitely be questioned by the old guys in the village. After 9 o'clock, the fronts of both sides were shortened. After all, in Luo Sha's view, this is not a battle that can be resolved quickly. That being the case, to attack at night, the risk varies by day. With the Uchiha family's blood successor limit Sharingan, the eyesight is very good. It doesn't have much effect in the dark, and their eyesight will be weakened. So attacking during the day is the best choice. Soon, both sides entered a defensive state and did not choose to attack. Uchiha was brave, and Luosha was afraid of losing too much, so he stopped fighting soon. How many people were killed or injured? Uchiha Fugaku's face was a bit ugly. He didn't know the exact number, and he knew it was not a small number. A total of 25 people, ordinary ninjas, 362 people. Uchiha Izumi's father, reporting to the Fugaku network. Those of the Uchiha family are basically Chunin. After the Konoha incident, Uchiha's manpower was not much. Now that these are dead again, everyone is very stressed. I see. It's enough to delay the position until tomorrow morning, so as to avoid the loss from expanding. Fugaku said finally. Among the 4 lines of defense, he persisted the longest. It is also the one that loses the most, there's no way. The 5 villages are not kidding either, today is just a trial battle. In an all-out war, relying on his manpower alone, it would not be able to withstand it for a few days. But Tsunagakure had more casualties than Uric, more than 500 people. Amaterasu still brings a lot of destructive power. Advertisement, yes. Everyone is naturally unwilling to fight. But I also know that this battle must be fought. They are also unwilling to give up their existing rights and interests. From a family of ninja village and a family of a big country, the two are not on the same level at all. For more benefits, everyone is willing to sacrifice their lives. Ordinary ninjas naturally don't want Uric to be killed. It's also because Uric released the restrictions on ninjutsu and gave everyone a chance to improve. If you lose the battle and become a prisoner, you will only die even worse. If they surrendered, then they would go back to the old days, and they naturally wanted to do so. Now, just wait for the king to come. Uchiha Fugaku, looking at the long sword that Uzumaki Mizuki gave him, wondered how Uzumaki Mizuki should appear. 12 o'clock. A blue-white light appeared in the unobstructed night sky. Luo Sha didn't fall asleep. In the small opening of the tent, this ray of light was found. Immediately tense up. Thought Uric was preparing forbidden technique or something. Without hesitation, he stepped on the sand and rose to the sky, trying to figure out what happened. The ninjas of Tsunagakure were equally surprised. I'm a little worried. Okay. You didn't fight here. After Uzumaki Mizuki appears, immediately open the king's treasure and use white eyes. But it was discovered that there was no fight, and Uchiha Fugaku is not far away. Report to the king, the war has ceased now, and the other party may attack us early in the morning. And it is also possible to take advantage of the night to poison, our manpower is on guard. Uchiha Fugaku reported. Tsunagakure's frontal combat strength is the weakest among the 5 major villages. But in terms of using poison, it is the strongest in Ninja Village. If it wasn't for Konoha having such a powerful medical ninja as Tsunade, the previous Ninja World War might have suffered a loss. It's okay, leave the rest to me. Uzumaki Mizuki, move around here. After finishing speaking, he directly stepped on the heavenly lock minister that rose from the exit of the king's treasure house open from the ground. Then continue in this way and go directly to the position closest to the front. Through the white eyes, I locked the Tsunagakure ninja, which is his favorite arrangement, get together. Although many people scattered, it was a vigil. A large number of ninjas still gathered together like a yurt. Who is this? Advertisement Luosha also found Uzumaki Mizuki, which is more dazzling in the night sky. Ask for flowers. The rather dazzling golden light is not covered by anything. But immediately, a more dazzling light came on. The golden light shot straight into the sky. Luo Sha's pupils shrank sharply, feeling the danger. With a wave of both hands forward, a huge wave of golden sand rose directly from the ground, rushing towards Uzumaki Mizuki in midair. Curry stick. But the golden sand waves were cut open by the more dazzling golden light. Then the golden light swelled instantly, heading towards Sanagakure's position. Although Luo Sha reacted, he used golden sand to make a sand shell on the Sanagakure position, but it didn't work. Can't resist the light at all. Destruction and defense are not at the same level at all. The attack of Curry stick is not easy to resist. A mushroom cloud rises. The huge impact that came with it directly blew Luo Sha in midair so that he couldn't stabilize his body at all. D. How can I cultivate it? Luo Sha is the same as those shadows before, his eyes are tearing apart. However, Uzumaki Mizuki is not interested in caring what they think. Now that you have done it, be prepared to bear the consequences. Death is inevitable. Uzumaki Mizuki held the sword of vowed victory and rushed directly towards Luo Sha. It is still difficult to hit a single person with an curry stick, not to mention that this person can fly. Seeing Uzumaki Mizuki rushing, Luo Sha was startled. Hastily continued to control Jinsha, trying to block it. However, he found that the enemy who was rushing towards him disappeared in the white smoke directly in midair. That guy is the king of Uruk, the son of Uzumaki Mizuki? Just a shadow clone? Luo Sha was a little desperate. In the morning, I thought that this person did not exist at all. But reality slapped him. Also very loud. How come the king is shadow clone? Also puzzled, and Uchiha Fugaku. At night, it is as clear as driving a Sharingan. But unexpectedly, it was just shadow clone. Sure enough, you are the most troublesome guy. As for Uzumaki Mizuki, the reason for releasing Shadow Clone is naturally because the main body has more important matters. Looking at the owner of Rinnegan in front of him, Uzumaki Mizuki felt the pressure. 97. Sage of Six Paths? The strongest enemy. Sure enough, you are the most troublesome. Uzumaki Mizuki looked at Sage of Six Paths Otsutsuki Yuya in front of him and said. Those who are fighting outside are all his Shadow Clone. The more destructive Deviation Sword was useless, but the Sword of Oath of Victory was always used because no one could know that it was a Shadow Clone. Therefore, Uzumaki Mizuki transferred almost 90% of chakra to Shadow Clone. The deity left more than 10,000 magic points for self-protection. How did you know I existed? Floating in midair, Otsutsuki Yuya, like a ghost, squinted slightly and asked. I should have warned you. I said at the time that if something happened to my brother, I would destroy the world. It seems that you didn't take it to heart. Uzumaki Mizuki looked at Otsutsuki Yuya coldly. It is suspected that this old guy, 363, is not dead because the activity of first-generation cells is so strong. Then how could Otsutsuki Yuya of the Six Paths body have a life similar to that of ordinary people, and die immediately when he arrives? This is different from the first generation. The Six Paths body can be said to start from the genes and evolve in an all-round way. So, unreasonable, an ordinary toad can live up to 30 years. And humans certainly don't stop there. The same senjutsu is powerful, and the body has also evolved into a stronger Six Paths body of Otsutsuki Yuya. How can it be possible to die because of the end of life? And after that, at the end of the ninja war, it appeared. It can give the power of yin and yang, and at the same time, it can release impure world reincarnation. In the plot, there are a total of 4 people with Six Paths bodies. Otsutsuki Kagaya Haim, Otsutsuki Yuya, Uchiha Madara, Uchiha Obito. The last 2 are all done by themselves. Kagaya Ji is unkillable, so seal her away, and only Otsutsuki Yuya is old and dead. The existence of the leader proves that the living body does not need to rely on the physical body. And 10 tails, why are there only 9-tailed beasts? Is it because there is a part of the power that cannot be extracted from Kagaya Ji's body? Still speaking, part of the power was taken away by Otsutsuki Yuya, so that he could exist through the chakra body, like a tailed beast. Advertisement, this word, I heard. But, I didn't intend to do anything bad to Naruto. Otsutsuki Yuya said calmly. In many ways, Otsutsuki Yuya is not a fool for nothing. The power of the tailed beast drawn from his mother's body is all in his body, and the most difficult task of guarding the body of Geto statue, 10 tails, is given to his younger brother. Obviously, it seems that there is the power to control the pure land and return the soul. But he let his 2 sons get entangled in face. Do you raise Jiyu? Uzumaki Mizuki did not understand, but I don't intend to figure it out. Take a shot at Naruto, then cut him off. Whatever you do, stop it for me. Although I don't know what your plan is, but it angered me, so I let Kagaya Ji out. It's just smashing the moon, there is no pressure on me. Are you still afraid of your mother? Uzumaki Mizuki threatens Otsutsuki Yuya. After all, the strength of this person is unknown. Uzumaki Mizuki is not absolutely sure of the solution. However, keeping yourself is not a big problem, but with Naruto, it is very problematic. Who the hell are you? Not from this world, but from far away. On the side of Otsutsuki Yuya, instead of answering Uzumaki Mizuki's question, he started asking questions. He also cared very much about what his mother had always been afraid of. And he has a deep grasp of the Pure Land. Especially the reincarnation of my two children, I will pay attention every time. He didn't pay much attention to the addition of a big brother or something. Senju Hashirama big brother has a lot of younger brothers. It's just that the matter of compatriots was also ignored by him. But from Uzumaki Mizuki, when he first showed his strength, and finally changed Konoha's name, Otsutsuki Yuya couldn't ignore Uzumaki Mizuki. Answer my question, enemy, but Uzumaki Mizuki was naturally not interested in answering. The voice fell. The golden armor slowly emerged from his body. At this time, he was in the castle of the former Fire Country daimyo. And behind Uzumaki Mizuki, lay Naruto who was officially sleeping soundly. Advertisement right now, there is a stalemate in Naruto's room. Why should I tell you? It's just taking one thing from this child, and it won't hurt his life. On Otsutsuki Yuya's side, there was some impatience in his eyes. He doesn't think Uzumaki Mizuki will be stronger than himself. It's just that I don't want to expose my existence. Afraid of attracting the existence that his mother was afraid of. He felt that Uzumaki Mizuki should not be the one his mother was waiting for. If you want to do this, beat me first. Uzumaki Mizuki looked at Otsutsuki Yuya coldly. Although guessing, what Otsutsuki Yuya wants to take from Naruto should be something about Ashura. This stuff Uzumaki Mizuki doesn't care either, however, he is not allowed. I don't want to fight you, it doesn't mean I can't beat you. If fighting is inevitable, then I will not back down. Otsutsuki Yuya was talking. At the same time, the feet sitting cross-legged in the air were slowly put down. If it is not still slightly floating in the air, it looks like it is standing on the ground. Let's fight then. Otsutsuki Yuya. Uzumaki Mizuki looked at Otsutsuki Yuya indifferently and said. Without waiting for Otsutsuki Yuya to answer, the halo of King's treasure house immediately appeared around Otsutsuki Yuya's body. Several sky locks were tied directly towards him. The time it appeared was less than 1/10 of a second. But Otsutsuki Yuya escaped. He has the Blood Follower's Snare, which is a stronger ability 1.2 than the Blood Follower's Elimination. Mastered the 7 attributes of nature transformation, the power obtained by fusion. So, he can use any ninjutsu, space ninjutsu is no problem. At the same time, Uzumaki Mizuki also tied Naruto with the Skylock and left the daimyo directly with the jump knife. In that case, let me show you my strength, however, this place is not suitable for fighting, and there will be too many casualties. If you are as powerful as you say, come here and fight with me. Otsutsuki Yuya appeared not far in front of Uzumaki Mizuki. As soon as he finished speaking, a space crack appeared behind him, directly and slowly forming a space passage, and he could see the situation behind him, like a grass field. 98. Versus Otsutsuki Yuya. Strong enemy. Jiraiya, let Naruto protect you, don't let anything happen. Uzumaki Mizuki did not answer Otsutsuki Yuya's words. Instead, he controlled the lock of the sky, and put Naruto, who was sleeping, in front of Jiraiya, who also came out of the daimyo mansion. Jiraiya looked at Otsutsuki Yuya dressed in white in midair with a surprised expression. He didn't know what was going on, but he felt that the other party was not a simple character. And those familiar eyes, could it be? Jiraiya looked shocked. However, he still hugged the sleeping Naruto on his body. Then let me see, what qualifications do you have to resist the king? Uzumaki Mizuki walked towards this space passage without hesitation. He thinks that now Otsutsuki Yuya should be less than 6 pads level. If you really have 6 pads level strength, you will definitely not talk nonsense with yourself. If you can't beat the terrain, Uzumaki Mizuki will naturally choose to run away. With travel shoes, it's not a big problem, and, with the war, the name of Uruk was also known to the people in the country. In addition to killing a large number of ninjas recently, the points 25 exceeded 50 million, which may be exchanged for some useful equipment. So Uzumaki Mizuki has the confidence to play against Otsutsuki Yuya. Otsutsuki Yuya walked in first. Uzumaki Mizuki followed right behind him. After the two entered, the space channel shrank and disappeared. Jiraiya looked confused. At this time, I don't know who to ask for explanation. Looking at the sleeping Naruto in his arms, Jiraiya feels that there are really many things in this world, which she doesn't understand at all. Obviously, he is already the pinnacle of strength in this world. It seems to be another space, similar to where your mother placed the castle. Are you afraid of being exposed and being tracked down by the Otsutsuki clan? After Uzumaki Mizuki entered this space channel, the scenery changed immediately. However, Uzumaki Mizuki found that this seems to be an independent space. Similar to the space enchantment formed after being sealed by planetary devastation. The place is not small, there is a hill, and there are fields and streams, but there are no living things. In the middle of the house, there is a big house with the signboard of Ninzong hanging outside. It seems that you really know a lot, tell me more, and Naruto will give up. For Otsutsuki Yuya, he has never left the ninja world in his life. For the outside world, it is scary, advertisement. After all, at the level of my own mother, she is very scared. It also uses the sacred tree to make white Zetsu, and wants to act as a fighting force. Obviously white Zetsu is the kind of existence that can be easily destroyed, even his mother would not let go of this combat power. Therefore, all the understanding of the ninja world is learned through the fear of his own mother. As a result, he is also afraid of the outside world. But in the ninja world, he feels that he is omnipotent and omniscient. Only Uzumaki Mizuki, an alien, made him unable to understand. Understood, you will feel hopeless, so, let the battle begin. Uzumaki Mizuki naturally wouldn't tell him that you might just exist as a paperman. Uzumaki Mizuki couldn't say that himself, after all, he is in this world himself. But now he's not interested in thinking about it that much. This old Yinbi, he is the most annoying. After so many years of calculations, Black Zetsu didn't know about it and was basically deceived. The densely packed sky locks rushed out again. Otsutsuki Yuya put his hands together, and a large number of branches grew directly on the ground, directly facing the lock of the sky. The king's treasury, Ren, Uzumaki Mizuki waved. A dense golden halo appeared behind him, then hundreds of fires exploded and fired directly. The explosion sound like firecrackers couldn't stop at all. Uzumaki Mizuki is also just clearing stock. Moreover, the magic value should also be calculated very well. The mana value consumed by Shadow Clone has basically been restored, and Uzumaki Mizuki also used a lot of skylocks. The battle between the two sides has only just begun. Looks like it really isn't a 6 paths mode, only using the blood succession limit. Uzumaki Mizuki judged. Shenluo Tianzheng, the power of the skylock is still stronger. Wood style is not covered by armed colors, so how could it be stronger than the skylock? Seeing the skylock approaching him, Otsutsuki Yuya directly used the power of Rinnegan to crush it. X Curry Stick. For Uzumaki Mizuki, inject 10,000 magic power directly and activate the X Curry Stick. No ninjutsu was used. This thing must have no effect on this guy. So Uzumaki and Mizuki are prepared to rely on their equipment. Advertisement, lightning style. As for Otsutsuki Yuya, he directly pinched with one hand, and the electric arc appeared directly in his palm. Then send it straight forward. The huge thunder column directly rushed out of his palm, facing the golden beam of light. However, the golden beam of light seems to be stronger. A quick erosive thunderbolt, thrown towards Otsutsuki Yuya. Wind style. Otsutsuki Yuya's left hand directly uses another type of escapism. The two forces added together to perform a compound ninjutsu. This is just enough to hold back the simple X Curry Stick. Can't use the truth-seeking ball. Then strength is the power of possessing Rinnegan, who is good at the 7 attributes of nature transformation. Uzumaki Mizuki judged. Find out how much strength Otsutsuki Yuya can play at 350 now. His next step is also better. Boom, X Curry Stick's final attack explodes. The shock had little effect on either of them. The final confirmation is the amount of chakra. Exceeding cage level strength, chakra is not unlimited, and the same is true for having a tailed beast. Uzumaki Mizuki continues to control the skylock towards Otsutsuki Yuya TCM. The most important thing is that there are no other treasures that can be used. Also, Uzumaki Mizuki thinks that skylock should work pretty well for Otsutsuki Yuya. Such a thing as divinity. This guy in front of me should be more or less a little bit. Shadow binding. Otsutsuki Yuya appeared behind Uzumaki Mizuki. At the same time, a black line directly connects the shadow of Uzumaki Mizuki along the ground. But what greeted Otsutsuki Yuya was densely packed skylocks. Invalid. Otsutsuki Yuya surprised. He discovered that the shadow binding technique had failed. There is no shadow of Uzumaki Mizuki on the link at all. He wasn't there when Uzumaki Mizuki fought Konoha. So not much to know, it's been so many years, so he doesn't care too much. 99. The melee skills of half a caddy. Without understanding Uzumaki Mizuki, Otsutsuki Yuya has many moves that are invalid. As for Uzumaki Mizuki, he doesn't know much about Otsutsuki Yuya. The ability to know Otsutsuki Yuya is basically judged by the degree of Uchiha Madara and Kagaya Haim. It is better than Otsutsuki Yuya. Ninjutsu doesn't work for him. In close combat, the chains make me feel dangerous. Otsutsuki Yuya said with a headache. Now he really can't use stronger power. And chakra is also limited, not unlimited, so he didn't suppress it with firepower. Go for the budget-conscious play and don't waste chakra. Does it only run? On Uzumaki Mizuki's side, there is still a lot of mana, and the recovery speed is not slow. Behind him, the skylock kept coming out of the king's treasure, but it basically didn't consume him much. However, Uzumaki Mizuki's attack method is relatively monotonous. The attack of 2 noble phantasms, the deviation sword Ie and the sword of promised victory. But it's also destructive. If you get hit, you won't die or be disabled. Susano. Seeing this, Otsutsuki Yuya decided to make a quick decision. He doesn't know the details of Uzumaki Mizuki. I just know that the opponent is not weak. Didn't expect it to be so hard to deal with. The full-body Susano, appearing directly from mid-air. Nearly 120 meters high. About twice as tall as the average Ultraman. The figure is huge. The sea blue body looks like a mighty warrior. Then, Susanoo drew out the samurai sword in her hand and slashed towards Uzumaki Mizuki. In front of the lock of the sky, how dare you make yourself so big? Uzumaki Mizuki right for a moment. King's treasure vault expands. The huge skylock rushed out of it, like a dream dragon. And Uzumaki Mizuki's own mana value dropped rapidly. More than a dozen skylocks with a diameter of up to 2 meters wide rushed directly towards Susanoo. Advertisement 5 of them directly tied Wu Shiwan. The remaining ones grabbed Susanoo's limbs directly. Chakra is consuming fast, this technique is adamantine sealing chains backquote? No, my strength seems to be suppressed. Otsutsuki Yuya, standing on the Gundam console, on Susanoo's forehead, quickly felt the change in himself. Susanoo's knife swung out, but not completely finished. Cut out halfway, locked by the skylock, the samurai sword could not hit Uzumaki Mizuki, but the sword pressure also rushed towards Uzumaki Mizuki. Uzumaki Mizuki directly used the jump knife and shifted the position. At this kind of moment, he will not waver. Jien Ya rushed directly behind him and slammed into the gray barrier in the distance. There was a tremor all around. Susanoo struggled, trying to break free from the skylock. Lightning style. Otsutsuki Yuya uses lightning style and wants to break the chain. But it didn't work. In the end, Susanoo could only be lifted, so that he was freed from the shackles. Otsutsuki Yuya still has some 6 paths body abilities, such as floating directly in midair. Finding that Susanoo is ineffective, he can only switch to other fighting methods. Land done light gun. Otsutsuki Yuya, using blood succession limit. Spit out blue light from the mouth, this is the fusion of lightning style and water style. The speed was extremely fast, and he was in front of Uzumaki Mizuki in an instant. Finally hit the sword of the Oath of Victory, but Uzumaki Mizuki was pushed back more than 10 meters away. At the same time, Otsutsuki Yuya burst into lightning and charged directly at Uzumaki Mizuki. If ninjutsu is ineffective, you can only fight in close combat. After experiencing the power of the chain just now, he knew that he must not be bound by the chain. However, he also felt that this chain was not so strong and could be cut off, so he dared to fight in close quarters. Bang bang bang. When Otsutsuki Yuya rushed in front of Uzumaki Mizuki had already recovered from the stalemate of Landon's attack. At the same time, on his shoulders, the white eyes were always open. Have him lock onto Otsutsuki Yuya's location. Seeing the other party rushing forward, besides controlling the skylock to rush forward, he also waved the sword of vowed victory at the same time, and collided with the long sword transformed into lightning style in Otsutsuki Yuya's hand. The 3 combos collided, and the 2 sides were on par for a while. Like Uzumaki Mizuki, Otsutsuki Yuya also plays one-handed ninjutsu cover flow. Advertisement melee combat is actually so-so, after all, he has never experienced any combat except for dealing with a strong person like his mother who has no combat experience. I haven't shown up for so many years, no matter how many battles I have watched, the actual combat experience is the same. In Uzumaki Mizuki's previous life, he watched a lot of battle scenes in various anime, but he can't use them now. So the 2 sides, half a caddy, but close combat is average, but the 2 sides are still fighting behind the scenes. Uzumaki Mizuki keeps showing skylocks, and Otsutsuki Yuya is not welcome, lightning style, wood style, etc., can also be released without seals. Just like instinct, *Wex curry stick, Uzumaki Mizuki feels that it is not good to continue mixing. A wave broke out directly, forcing Otsutsuki Yuya back. Otsutsuki Yuya rubbed a huge Rasengan, obliterating the golden light directly. However, chakra consumes slightly more. Otsutsuki Yuya feels that this time, it seems that it will be difficult to beat Uzumaki Mizuki. After all, he wasn't in his prime. If it was the situation of 10 Tails Jinchuriki, then he felt that it would not take long for him. I didn't intend to kill you. This is your own choice. If you tell me your origin and the situation of the outside world, then I will let you live. But if you refuse, I will kill you, then find your soul in the Pure Land, and read the memory. Otsutsuki Yuya opened his right hand while speaking. On the palm, a fist-sized black ball directly condensed out. Truth-seeking ball. The substance obtained by the fusion of attributes. No money is good. The power is huge, almost comparable to real damage, and if you encounter it, you will be injured or killed. Even if the body of impure world reincarnation is cut off by it, it cannot be restored. It can be said to be the strongest embodiment of ninjutsu. And the black stick made by pen is not a kind of melon. Very strong. Only Uchiha Madara's Landu Guangfang has cut this thing. Generally powerful forbidden technique cannot destroy it. This should be a sealed space, it shouldn't be that convenient for you to get in and out. If my attack completely covers this area, then you should have nowhere to escape. Uzumaki Mizuki put the sword of vowed victory into Wang Jibao Curry, and then took out the deviant sword Ie and held it in his hand. Let's all come to this set, so let's see who is better. Truth-seeking ball or something, he didn't pay attention. 100. Tear up space, deviant sword. Then let's see who has the stronger hole card. Otsutsuki Yuya's face was heavy. The attack released by the weapon just now brought him a feeling of palpitation. Hard resistance is definitely unbearable, but the opponent replaced this weapon with an even weirder shape. He also has little intelligence agency. A few times using the deviation sword Otsutsuki Yuya was not present. However, he also knew that this was definitely not a simple thing. Then, let's get started. The whirlpool kettle is finished. Among the hundreds of passages in the king's treasury behind, the skylock continues to emerge. At the same time, he raised the deviant sword and began to inject magic power. Boom! In an instant, the powerful magic power caused the air to vibrate. We can't let him complete this spell. Otsutsuki Yuya's pupils shrank. Then directly control the truth-seeking ball in the palm, rushing towards Uzumaki Mizuki. The longest distance to control the truth-seeking ball is only 70 meters away. But there are not so many restrictions on the attack range of the skylock, as long as the mana is enough. Wood-style Buddha on top. Otsutsuki Yuya, seeing the overwhelming chains, had to use ninjutsu to resist. This time I used wood-style, no Susanoo. Chakra dropped a large 480 in an instant, and the distance from the limit was not too far away. It took him more than half of his chakra to make this truth-seeking ball. But it did not disappoint his expectations. Truth-seeking ball rushed into the skylock, rampaging all the way, without any hindrance at all. However, the distance between the two sides is more than 100 meters. The truth-seeking ball can't attack Uzumaki Mizuki at all, only if he moves forward can the truth-seeking ball go one step further. The huge Buddha statue, holding the lock of the sky, keeps moving forward. Fortunately, the wealth of the nobles and daimyos of the Fire Kingdom has been placed in Wangjabao Curry in advance, otherwise, the mana value is really not enough. Uzumaki Mizuki has been watching Otsutsuki Yuya's moves. The other party can't do teleportation, time and space movement is the method of flying god. It seems that he can use all ninjutsu in the ninja world. It's just that the effect exerted may not be the strongest. Fortunately, he has always felt that something is slightly wrong. When the war started this time, he put a lot of wealth into the king's treasure house. All of a sudden, the upper limit of more than 300,000 magic points was increased, and with the original 100,000, the upper limit of magic points was 450,000. This is also the reason why he can keep his shadow clone outside. Advertisement. Bang bang bang. With a huge fist, he rushed madly towards the skylock. The skylock couldn't withstand this kind of impact at all, and the power of each fist was no less than that of a big ball Rasengan. How could an ordinary skylock with 2 or 3 mana points be able to block it? Otsutsuki Yuya approached. The skylock is less than 10 meters away from Uzumaki Mizuki. In Otsutsuki Yuya's view, as soon as the truth-seeking ball touches Uzumaki Mizuki, the fight is over. Give him an EA with 300,000 magic power in one breath and let him experience it. The veins in Uzumaki Mizuki's right hand were swollen. This is caused by a large amount of magic power injected into the deviation sword. It looks complicated, but from the time of accumulating magic power, only about 5 seconds have passed. This is also caused by Uzumaki Mizuki. The magic circuit in his body is not thick enough, otherwise it would not take so long. Die. On the side of Otsutsuki Yuya, he jumped directly from the Buddha statue. The truth-seeking ball moved forward for a long distance. He felt tremendous pressure, and the sense of danger that the weapon brought to him was too great. So, risking the possibility of being caught by the skylock, he approached Uzumaki Mizuki. However, an invisible skylock forced him back. He was so focused on Uzumaki Mizuki that he didn't even notice Rinnegan. Shenluo Tianzheng. Use the repulsive force to directly repel the lock of the sky. But his speed is also stagnant. As for Uzumaki Mizuki, magic power injection is also completed. Face the judgment. Unlock the door of the treasury. During the trial, CFEE. Tear the world apart with my deviant sword. Heaven and earth, leave Pijishing. Uzumaki Mizuki released it without hesitation. This time it covers the entire space and attacks in a large area, so there is no wave. Otsutsuki Yuya startled and tried to speed up to Uzumaki Mizuki. But he stopped immediately, because he saw that his truth-seeking ball was split in two. The space is split, and the truth-seeking ball is directly divided. Ninjutsu has no effect on truth-seeking ball, only Shienjutsu can barely resist. But in terms of the power of space, it has no effect at all. Impossible. This power. Otsutsuki Yuya glanced around. Advertisement. The entire space is shattered, like pieces of a puzzle. Including the sky, it also directly split open at this time. Revealed the night starry sky. This kind of power, Otsutsuki Yuya feels that it is almost the same as when he was the strongest. On Uzumaki Mizuki's side, he held up the deviant sword and did not put it down. The blade is still spinning, releasing power and tearing the world apart. Gradually, black holes appeared. The space-time technique also fails. Otsutsuki Yuya was going to run away with Flying Thunder God, but found no use at all. The piece of space fragment that I was torn apart has been unable to contact other locations. Moreover, it is still constantly cracking. The only stable place on the field is Uzumaki Mizuki's own position, and within 10 meters of it, everything is intact. Like the fulcrum of this world, aren't you afraid of death? It seems that there is indeed a problem. Uzumaki Mizuki kept staring at Otsutsuki Yuya. He wanted to see the panic look on Otsutsuki Yuya's face. But no, just a little bit, anger, and hostility. Otsutsuki Yuya was also staring at him. I will be back. The space is torn apart, and the sound naturally cannot be transmitted. But Uzumaki Mizuki knew what he said through his mouth movements. Next time, you are dead. Uzumaki Mizuki also fired back. After that, I looked at Otsutsuki Yuya, who was torn apart by the space until he was swallowed by the crack and lost his position. After raging for 7 or 8 minutes, the shattered space slowly recovered. The world also has its own ability to repair. Otherwise, if the cracked space does not recover, it will devour everything around without limit. Come out yet? I thought it would be troublesome to return to the ninja world? Uzumaki Mizuki looked around very calmly, judging that he was in the ninja world, not other places. The moon in the sky is still very familiar. It's the same moon as when I went to trouble Sunagakure. 101. The strongest target in the ninja world. When the body was torn apart, there was no blood. Is it really Chakra's body? In this way, to achieve the goal of eternal life? Or is he teaching chakra to everyone so that everyone can develop new jutsu and then he learns it himself? Uzumaki Mizuki contemplates Otsutsuki Yuya's goal. Abandoning the flesh must be a conspiracy. This kind of old thing that has lived for so long must play very well. Uzumaki Mizuki is not sure when the other party will appear. The best situation, naturally, is the same as the tail beast, and it will take 2 or 3 years to appear. If that's the case, then he has plenty of time. With the current population of Uruk in 1 year, he can be awarded hundreds of millions of points. Enough for him to exchange for a lot of new equipment. At the same time, he himself will continue to become stronger. Now this childlike body does not bring much bonus, even if you exercise hard, the limit is there. When the body reaches its peak at the age of 16, it is the beginning of the strongest. Now, we still need to rely more on equipment. Here is the Land of Thunder. The cooling time of the travel shoes is still 4 hours, so I can only go back by myself. Otsutsuki Yuya, there should be no way to recover immediately. Uzumaki Mizuki judged his surroundings. There are many peaks, but there are still some trees. If there is no tree, then it should be the country of the land. Walking shoes can't be used. Flying Thunder God doesn't yet. I could only go back on my own. The passage of the king's treasure house appeared directly under his feet, and then the skylock rushed out, directly pressing against Uzumaki Mizuki's feet, pushing him forward. Alternately use new skylocks along the way. The moving speed quickly reached about 150 kilometers. Sure enough, Otsutsuki Yuya used to live in the Land of Thunder. The Golden Horn and the Silver Horn should also be descendants of the Otsutsuki family. Uzumaki Mizuki looked at the environment below and confirmed the location here. But after running for a while, I found that at this speed, I couldn't go back within a few hours, so I finally stopped and thought about what might happen next. Anxiously waiting for the cooling time of the traveling shoes. As soon as the time is up, use it immediately, and the goal is to stay at a coordinate in the Daming Mansion. As soon as he appeared, several people immediately appeared around him. First generation, Tsunade, and Kakashi. HMPH, I knew he was out of battery. Jiraiya is still so exaggerated, wasting my sleep time. Seeing Uzumaki Mizuki from Tsunade's side, the vigilant eyes immediately relaxed. Advertisement he left immediately after speaking. She thinks Uzumaki Mizuki is too fart, not like a child at all, she doesn't like it. It's okay, pressure, Kakashi asked silently, good. The war should not last for a few days. I can tell everyone the news of victory, that's it. Uzumaki Mizuki didn't say much, instead, he carefully observed Naruto's situation with his white eyes. Jiraiya took Naruto, in the next room not far away. After talking to Kakashi, immediately go to Naruto to check the situation. Win the war? Kakashi was taken aback. Originally, he didn't like war very much. My father, my best friend, all had accidents because of the war. Very capable, however, many people should have died, alas. First generation can only say sadly. Uzumaki Mizuki scrutinized Naruto's situation. It was found that there was no change, including the sealing technique in the body. Finally, through spiritual power, he entered the position of the Nine-Tails seal in Naruto's body. Roar, you. Sharingan, before Nine-Tails started greeting. Uzumaki Mizuki directly controlled it, carefully observing the surrounding situation. It was found that there was still no change, only then was he relieved. In addition to Obito, there is one more enemy to guard against. But Yagura, the Three-Tails Jinchuriki, was killed by me. It will take 2 or 3 years for Akatsuki to complete the plan. At the same time, if Otsutsuki Yuya wants to become 10 Tails Jinchuriki, he also needs to wait for 3 tails to recover. During this period of time, it is necessary to reach the strongest in this world as soon as possible. Uzumaki Mizuki set a goal. The degree of danger of Otsutsuki Yuya is the strongest, but it can approach the level of Kagaya-ji. It is almost the same as Otsutsuki Yuya except that there is no reincarnation Sharingan. And having more combat experience than Kagaya-ji is not stupid for nothing. We need to speed up the road of expansion and get more points. Uzumaki Mizuki thinks the fastest way to become stronger is this. Relying on your own exercise, there is no way to improve so quickly. Advertisement. Asking for flowers. At this time, the sky is also slightly brightened. Uzumaki and Mizuki were also relieved and lay down to rest. After killing so many Sanagakure ninjas at night, Uchiha should be able to withstand it. After a few hours, send another clone over there to finish it off. Uzumaki Mizuki, still thinking about the battlefield. Except for 4th Raikage who ran fast and didn't die, among the 4 shadows, there was also Raikage who didn't die. Uzumaki Mizuki was going to kill him too. Lose the leader, replace the new commander-in-chief, and time will be chaotic. However, after this battle, the 4 major powers should be very hostile to me. The possibility of the allied forces of the 4 nations should not be low, but it should not be organized in a short time. Before that, get rid of them first. Uzumaki Mizuki is a little tired. Zero Shadow Clone will return to the main body after being exhausted from fighting outside. Although the battle with Otsutsuki Yuya didn't last long, a large amount of magic power exploded and it was a great burden on the body. With this body, it's just a child, so, Uzumaki Mizuki is tired. In the end, I ate and drank enough and slept for less than an hour. Uzumaki Mizuki sent clones to Sanagakure's front again. Didn't you fight today? After arriving, I didn't see the battle I imagined. Without waiting for the people arranged by Fugaku to step forward, Uzumaki Mizuki rushed towards Uchiha Fugaku directly. Learned about it from Fugaku soon. Luo Sha ran away with people. I saw that the one who almost turned me over was actually just a shadow clone. I'm really scared. Count him smart. Get ready to finish. Arrange people to take care of this place. Then you come back first and take care of the aftermath. Uzumaki Mizuki is not ready to chase here either. Instead, to Uchiha Fugaku. This time, Uruk also suffered more than 1,000 casualties. There is still much to do. Uzumaki Mizuki himself naturally didn't want to deal with it. But those who can do these things are all outside. So we can only let them go back to work first. Yes, King. There was a hint of fanaticism in Uchiha Fugaku's tone. He felt that it would not be too long before Uruk conquered the entire ninja world. 102. Only Uchiha Madara can deal with him. The news of the fiasco of the 4 major villages spread irresistibly. Aside from Kirigakure's ninjas, Uzumaki Mizuki didn't kill them all. And many ninjas escaped. These ninjas, looking at the X-Curry stick, which is more destructive than the tailed beast bomb, directly exploded around them. They were so scared. His companion was wiped out almost instantly. Not even a body was left. The big names in several countries were a little panicked. But soon, they felt that this could be a lie told by Ninja Village in their own country. After all, Uruk was formerly the ninjas of Konoha. But in the past, the power of Konoha said that it was okay to defeat one of them, but this time they defeated the 4 ninja villages, which made them a little suspicious. As for the ninja villages, there is also a situation inside. In particular, Iwagakure, 4 Tails and 5 Tails Jinchuriki were all captured by Akatsuki's 683 organization. Followed by Cloud Shinobi Village, Urwei and 8 Tails Jinchuriki were captured. It was Pain and Conan who did it by Iwagakure. As for Cloud Shinobi Village, Kakuzu and Scorpion went to catch Urwei, while Obito secretly went to catch Killer Bee. Sanagakure was not targeted because he felt that he was the weakest and was very close to Sanagakure, so he was not listed as a target. Who the hell? 4th Raikage ran back here, planning to call for someone. However, the village was found in a scene of war. After knowing what happened, he fell into Sha Danshin. You mean, Yagura is dead? Hearing this news, Obito frowned. When Jinchuriki dies, the tailed beast will also disappear. Tailed beasts are immortal, they can be revived after a few years, but this will take more than 2 years. Originally, Obito wanted to collect Jinchuriki within 1 year, and then started the Infinite Tsukuyomi plan. Yes, the plan will be postponed. The ninja world is about to fall into chaos. 1 tail, 6 tails, and 7 tails, the 3-tailed beasts, can be collected first. Absolutely, Obito said. He felt very uneasy. An enemy that was not anticipated by the plan appeared. Too strong. Although Uzumaki Mizuki killed many white Zetsu who were preparing to collect intelligence on the battlefield. However, Ju found the surviving ninjas in the 4 major villages and read their memories. Power like never before seen. Advertisement. He, like Otsutsuki Yuya, feels that Uzumaki Mizuki has a big problem. However, he doesn't have any power to question. He doesn't know where the opponent's limit is. At this time, I can only want to collect the tailed beasts as soon as possible, so that the next stage of the plan can be carried out stably. In his opinion, only Nagato plus Obito is capable of fighting against Uzumaki Mizuki. However, what troubled him the most was that the other party seemed to know a lot of information. And the last 9 tails, that's always to be faced. Obito said with a blank face. At this time, I absolutely don't know what the map is thinking. Follow the original plan. If it doesn't work then, find a way for Nagato to use Rinne Tensai to revive Uchiha Madara. Never said. This is the last resort. Nagato, Obito, combined are not enough for Uchiha Madara to hit. If it really doesn't work, that's the only way. Having said that though, but Obito obviously doesn't want Uchiha Madara to be resurrected. He wants to take charge of the plan and change the world. At the same time, he also wants to investigate the facts. He no longer trusts Kazu and Uchiha Madara. Okay, that's all for today's training. Uzumaki Mizuki greeted Naruto. A few days later. Naruto is very normal, which makes him completely relieved. The outside affairs are all handled by Uchiha Fugaku and Nara Shikaku. Uzumaki Mizuki himself did not do anything superfluous. Just see that the purpose you asked for is accomplished. It is good. Naruto released the shadow clone, his feet went limp, and he fell to his knees directly on the ground. He is also practicing seriously. Knowing Uzumaki Mizuki's strength, he naturally wants to catch up with his big brother. Every day after returning from school, Uzumaki Mizuki will guide him to practice, see through the meridians in his body with his white eyes, and let him make the best control. Don't force yourself, you will definitely be strong in the future. Uzumaki Mizuki helped Naruto up. Naruto practiced very hard. Although Ninetales interfered, he was much stronger than ordinary children. It is inferior to Sasuke, and the gap with others is not that big. Advertisement, I don't want to be too far behind big brother, I also want to be as strong as you. Naruto said seriously. Most importantly, he felt that the stinky Sasuke seemed to be chasing his big brother too. Then you can't fall down. Then you should learn the theoretical knowledge well first. Here's the foundation of the sealing technique. After you learn it, I will teach you new ninjutsu. Uzumaki Mizuki took out a scroll and gave it to Naruto. The sealing techniques of the Uzumaki clan, he doesn't really want to learn. The effect is the same, not as good as the Lock of the Sky. Other sealing techniques are also useless. If it is used for Naruto, it will allow him to better grasp the Ninetales chakra. Okay. Seeing that he was going to read a book, Naruto immediately grimaced. Are you ready? Uzumaki Mizuki asked Orochimaru. A few days ago, Orochimaru told him that he could release the soul of his cheap father. Today is the time to start. The sacrifices and so on are all ready. It was White Zetsu that was caught by the way during the war. This thing caught 7 or 8 and killed a dozen. Used as a material for impure world reincarnation, Uzumaki Mizuki didn't feel bad at all. I hope that the information you gave me can help me. On Orochimaru's side, he didn't pay much attention to the technique of unblocking the ghouls. He thinks it's not a big problem. What cares instead about 0.6 is what Uzumaki Mizuki will give him in return. In this battle, he obtained a lot of research materials. The bodies of the Uchiha clan and the Hyuga clan who died in battle were handed over to him. It's just that both families want Orochimaru to obtain research information. I'll tell you everything this time, let you be busy for a while, hurry up. Uzumaki Mizuki waved his hand, signaling to hurry up. The appearance of Otsutsuki Yuya brought him a lot of pressure. Originally thought that Super Cage level could start surfing, but I didn't expect the 6 paths level to appear so soon. Orochimaru nodded, and then put on the mask found in the Uzumaki family's noodle hall, and then began to seal, not fast. Ghoul seal solution. Orochimaru gave a soft snort. 103. Impure world reincarnation Namikaze Minato. After seeing the so-called spirit appear, Uzumaki Mizuki didn't even look at Orochimaru. Orochimaru could only do it himself, and after giving up his own body, he immediately occupied the body of a white Zetsu next to him. That Shinigami seemed to growl a little bit before disappearing. I don't know if I'm saying, liar, big liar, and Uzumaki Mizuki looked at this blue soul, hesitating for a while. What's wrong? Isn't this a success? Orochimaru wondered. After changing his body, he was somewhat uncomfortable. But the previous body can't last long, so I don't have much opinion. Reanimation Jutsu. Uzumaki Mizuki this side, no longer hesitate. Use impure world reincarnation directly. The gene fragments were provided by Orochimaru. There are a lot of tomb robbers of this thing, and there are a lot of stocks, especially Konohas. The tied white Zetsu was devoured by King Luo, soon a new figure appeared. It seems that my guess is still wrong, you really are not the 4th generation. Orochimaru still sighed from the sidelines, here is? Orochimaru. This kid. Minato woke up with a startled expression. 25 Raise your hands and raise your sword fingers, ready to use Flying Thunder God at any time. But after seeing the situation clearly, he couldn't help but froze for a moment. At the moment when his memory remained in the ghoul's seal, he thought that something went wrong and he didn't die. But now it seems that it is not the case. Who? I am Uzumaki Mizuki, your son. You are dead, I sent you to Impure World Reincarnation to let you protect Naruto. Although I recognize Namikaze Minato in my heart, after all, I was just born. He was the one who saved himself when his body was covered in detonating symbols, and there was nothing wrong with calling him dad. But after so many years, I got used to not having one. Now that there is one more, it's a bit twisted. But soon got used to it. To Namikaze Minato, explain the matter clearly, and tell him what to do after Impure World Reincarnation comes out. So, now you are the daimyo of Uruk, the land of fire? Namikaze Minato couldn't digest this information for a while. Your son is amazing. Gate, advertisement. Orochimaru smiled from the side. Uzumaki Mizuki glared at him. Orochimaru wilted immediately. Seeing this scene, Namikaze Minato finally believed it a little bit. For the specific situation, you can go outside and find out by yourself. I will wait for you at Naruto, this is just shadow clone. Uzumaki Mizuki said, the instructions are too complicated. It's easiest for him to experience it for himself. I believe you, after all, you are my son, Namikaze Minato said seriously. Uzumaki Mizuki was speechless, but also felt relieved. I have been protecting Naruto all the time, and I feel a lot of pressure in my heart. No one can be completely trusted. Within 1 year, I will resurrect you and mother as soon as possible. During this period, you can show up to face Naruto by yourself, or you can hide in the dark until you are completely resurrected. It's up to you to choose. Uzumaki Mizuki said. After all, Naruto is not himself. It is not easy to say whether he can maintain a stable mentality in the face of his dead relatives. These years, you two brothers have worked hard. Namikaze Minato looked at Uzumaki Mizuki, who looked like a little adult, and couldn't help but feel a little distressed. How much did this child go through to become like this? Thinking of this, he felt like a knife was twisting his heart. Good. Orochimaru, the information will tell you tomorrow. You should get used to this body first. Uzumaki Mizuki nodded, and after speaking, he released Shadow Clone and disappeared in front of the big snake. Leaving Orochimaru and Namikaze Minato staring at each other. You've worked hard, I'll go out and have a look first. On Namikaze Minato's side, he didn't plan to talk much with Orochimaru either. He also doesn't know what kind of relationship his son has with Orochimaru. New information, seeing how Uzumaki Mizuki cares so much, it shouldn't be easy. On Orochimaru's side, he couldn't let go of this information. It is too difficult to fuse the blood succession boundary, and it is not that he himself has tried it. Now I just know that the relationship between the Uchiha, Senju, Uzumaki, and Hyuga families will be very easy to integrate. But he wants more. It took too long to study by himself, and he wanted to speed up his pace after learning all the information from Uzumaki Mizuki. Namikaze Minato appears at night after Naruto falls asleep. Advertisement, now you can't drink water, so I won't pour it for you. Uzumaki Mizuki took Minato, came to the living room, and spoke. Your strength. Is it really that strong? Namikaze Minato couldn't help asking. After going out for a stroll, he realized what his son had done. Also met old friends, Fugaku, Narashirju and so on. All information is obtained from them. Finally, I met first Hokage, which made him come straight for a while. After walking around for a while, he finally knew what his son's identity was at this time. Moreover, the defeat of the attack of the 4 major villages shocked him even more. After all, he himself has participated in the Ninja World War, and knows how much strength is needed to do it. Not strong enough, that's why I need you to protect Naruto. Uzumaki Mizuki said directly. The destructive power is not worse than the 6 paths level, but in other respects, it is far behind. In the case of a hexagram, it is in terms of destructive power, which exceeds the limit of a hexagram, and the difference is too far in other aspects. These all need to be compensated. Understood. Leave Naruto's safety to me in the future, and I will protect him. Seeing Uzumaki Mizuki like this, Minato didn't ask any more questions. Although I also want to know the secret of my child. However, as a father, I do not have this qualification. Protect Naruto. It seems he has suffered a lot. If you have time, deal with politicians too. Fugaku and the others are a little cautious, and they are too biased towards the family. A father who was born as a commoner should know how to be more friendly to commoners. If you want to do it, just do it directly, and I will support you. Uzumaki Mizuki continued. First generation is too simple, let him deal with the government, it is unreliable. It is good not to send the country out, but according to my own father, I have been a Hokage, and I have understood the gap between the family and the common people. These are all better solutions. If it can help you, then no problem. Having said that though, but Minato also felt a little twisted. Being supported by my son, I feel that I am a bit incompetent as a father. 104. Filling the foundation and practicing fairy art. It turns out that chakra is from an alien planet. Orochimaru was in shock and couldn't wake up for a long time. Uzumaki Mizuki came to tell him the information the next day. About the origin of the Otsutsuki clan, the appearance of chakra, the reason for the existence of tail beasts, and the truth about the Akatsuki organization. Including the fact that pure fairy art is the real power of the ninja world, I told him everything. The physique of Sage of 6 Paths was achieved through the evolution of 10 tails, and it should be the strongest physique that can be achieved in the ninja world. When chakra reaches a certain level, it can undergo a qualitative change. Is it the same when the magic energy exceeds a certain level? The limit of blood succession is Rinnegan. If you are stronger, you need 10 tails. The limit of fairy art has not yet appeared. Ordinary 5 attribute escapism, the limit is there, you can see the head at a glance. If the temperature of fire style can rise to tens of thousands of degrees, this simple fire attribute is enough to crush other ninjutsu. Uzumaki Mizuki instilled Orochimaru with all sorts of strange knowledge. At the same time, let him not go paranoid. If the technology line can come out, it will definitely be very rewarding. But it didn't help him much. So, you too? On Orochimaru's side, after waking up from a lot of fantasies, he looked at Uzumaki Mizuki with complicated eyes. Now that all the information is out, Orochimaru can't guess, he is a fool. You keep this secret yourself, if others know, I will kill you first. Uzumaki Mizuki said very calmly, he hasn't revealed the secret of the paperman yet. Let Orochimaru guesswork. Clear. Orochimaru nodded silently. If you want to make your own body and adapt to your soul, then use your own cells to fuse the body made by first-generation cells, and then find a way to infuse the fairy chakra. This should be the best choice. Uchiha's Sharingan and Hyuga's white eyes will not cause any burden to the body at that time. There are too many fused cells, which will also put a lot of pressure on your own cells. Uzumaki Mizuki tells Orochimaru away. Comparing Uchiha and first-generation cells, the first-generation cells are definitely better. I will make a few more subjects and choose better ones. Orochimaru replied. This is also his inner thoughts. Knowing that immortal art is the source, he is not so enthusiastic about the blood succession boundary. In the past, I was keen on this because I felt the limit brought by my body. If I have the limit of the blood inheritance, I will definitely be able to do better. Now I think, if I didn't choose to change my body, but practiced immortality in Ryuchi Cave, would I be stronger? At this time, if Uzumaki Mizuki is still here, he is ready to start preparations directly. The swirl glass says a lot, too. Now his main body can finally come out for a walk, and it is Shadow Clone who stays beside Naruto. In the next few days, Namikaze Minato also began to intervene in government affairs, but instead of Uzumaki Mizuki. Advertisement Fugaku and others will come and ask Minato. They also know about the existence of Minato, and dare not have any opinions. Wang's father asked, what did they dare to be? Namikaze Minato tried a few times to give more benefits to the common people, and found out that these family leaders did not dare to refute. It was carried out easily. This made him doubly excited. What I couldn't do when I was in Hokage, I didn't expect to be able to do it to the whole country now. So work hard and work hard. As for Uzumaki Mizuki, he asked Minato to guide him in learning Flying Thunder God. Some difficulties encountered are no longer troubles. The speed of practice increased at once. I haven't practiced much other ninjutsu. Except for 100 healings mark and strange power, I didn't learn much about other ninjutsu. After all, the limit of 5 attribute ninjutsu is there, and there is no way to get stronger with chakra. Unless it is to cultivate the 7 attributes and finally make a truth-seeking ball, then it is considered acceptable. But it takes too long, time and space skills are different, the effect is very good, and those with special attributes can be of great help. The 100 healings mark is able to store chakra, monster powers provide strength bonuses and more. There is also 8 inner gates, and I will try to practice in the future, but I am not ready to learn general ninjutsu. But in addition to this, Uzumaki Mizuki is also preparing to practice Shienjutsu. You want to practice fairy art? Hearing this, Jiraiya was somewhat surprised. After all, he feels that Shienju doesn't seem to help Uzumaki Mizuki very much. Uzumaki Mizuki's current strength doesn't need to rely on fairy arts at all. It's an attempt. Uzumaki Mizuki didn't say much. He mainly wanted to see if fairy art could increase the effect of magic power. If it doesn't work, it can also be used as a buff to increase strength and enhance perception, etc., which are considered good states. Now it is supplementing the foundation and improving the other curves of the 6-pointed star. If you want to learn, of course there is no problem. However, it is somewhat troublesome to learn fairy art, it may take 10 hours. Jiraiya said. He was not prepared to hide his secrets. You don't have to go to Mount Myoboku, you guide me. Uzumaki Mizuki said. He wasn't going to see Toad's face. I always feel that these animals that have lived for thousands of years are like monsters. Advertisement. Although you have learned knowledge, why do you help humans? There is always a problem. Learning the fairy art chakra has certain risks. If you don't control it well, your body will produce strange changes. In Mount Myoboku, there are props to get rid of this strange change, so that you can practice stably. Jiraiya said straight. Providing natural energy to Uzumaki Mizuki is not that much trouble for him. The trouble is, when merging the celestial chakra, there will be problems. You enter Sage mode first, I'll check the situation, I seem to have a prop in my hand, and I can do this kind of thing. Uzumaki Mizuki said. At the same time, he took out the talisman that broke the precepts of all things. This thing has top-notch effects in breaking buffs and debuffs. If it is the limit, it has not been hit yet, is that so? Then try it out, although I don't know why Uzumaki Mizuki resisted going to Mount Myoboku. But he didn't refuse either. Close your eyes, begin absorbing the forces of nature, and prepare to enter Sage mode. He didn't give the 2 toad sages to summoning. After all, he just tried it out, and he didn't need to fight all the time. He asked the 2 immortals to help absorb the power of nature to maintain Sage mode. It took about half an hour before he absorbed enough of the natural power of Zhao Li. Both the face and body have undergone slight changes. It looks like a toad spirit. This is Sage mode. Jiraiya showed Uzumaki Mizuki, and Uzumaki Mizuki directly touched Jiraiya with the talisman of breaking all commandments. In an instant, Jiraiya's body changed, disappeared immediately, and returned to its original appearance. Jiraiya was taken aback. Feeling that I am a fairy chakra, I suddenly lifted the fusion state, and the force of nature was directly excreted from the body and disappeared. It seems okay. Then let's start practicing. Uzumaki Mizuki is no surprise. It works on the force of nature. Then, let's start by explaining how to integrate the fairy art chakra. The mood is a little complicated, but Jiraiya began to explain seriously. Start with the basics. 105. Let us Akatsuki organize the ninja alliance. The entire ninja world fell into a calm state, but in this calm, there is panic hidden. The daimyos from the 4 major countries all began to contact each other, and it took a while in private to gather in the Land of Thunder for a meeting. And Kirigakure and Iwagakure at this time directly began to select new shadows. But the daimyo began to interfere. After losing the shadow, these daimyos felt that this was a good opportunity for them to intervene to enter Ninja Village. On the surface it was calm, but in private it was about to fall out. This person is very strong. 9 Tails Jinchuriki, if it is in his hands, it is too difficult to take it away. Nagato looked at the information in his hands, feeling a little stressed. The war against the 4 major powers stopped, but Uruk was not too polite to the small countries that participated this time. Konoha alone is enough to deal with them. The country of grass is the worst, and it is the country that has been targeted the most. If you can't face him head-on, you can only think of other ways. Conan followed suit. This time I caught 4 Jinchuriki, which can be said to be half the battle. 7 Tails is already in the hunt. Traces of 6 tails were also found. 1 tail isn't too stressful either. It's just that the 3 tails are wiped out and it takes a while to respawn. 207 The most troublesome thing is 9 tails. In the hands of the most dangerous man in the ninja world. According to intelligence, this Uzumaki Mizuki seems to value his younger brother very much, and usually won't leave. Unless there is another ninja world war like this, forcing him to leave 9 Tails Jinchuriki, then there will be a chance. Nagato finally thought of only this method. Secondly, you can only hold Uzumaki Mizuki by yourself, and then others can snatch 9 tails. Also, Uzumaki Mizuki had to be held down before 9 tails could be pulled out. Beat Uzumaki Mizuki, he feels like he's not too sure. I think another way is better. Obito emerges from the twisted space. Then he spoke. Nagato frowned while Conan looked at Obito warily. Mr. Madara, do you want to do it yourself? Nagato wondered. In his opinion, the strength of this Uchiha Madara should not be much stronger than himself. Advertisement however, the 2 sides have no reason to fight, so they have never committed a crime. However, if one more person helps, it can indeed relieve a lot of pressure. No, I have tried, but I can't beat him. I'm talking about another, CFEA, method. Obito shook his head, then said. In fact, it was a fiasco, and he couldn't find the slightest chance at all. If it wasn't for Kamui, I guess I would be instantly killed by the opponent. Therefore, he felt that Nagato was not Uzumaki Mizuki's opponent either. But if this Rinnegan is in his hands, he might be able to fight. What way? Nagato also asked directly. After all, the other Jinchuriki aren't that troublesome to recycle, only the 9 tails, which stress him out a lot. Although he himself is a god, he is not invincible. Unite the daimyos of the 4 major powers and let them send out the ninja coalition to attack Uruk together. We can also work secretly to help promote this plan and force Uzumaki Mizuki to take the 9 tails Jinchuriki. Obito said directly. The plan that was never given was to resurrect Uchiha Madara. But he doesn't approve of it. He doesn't want to be a chess piece, he wants to be a chess player. Therefore, it can only be changed to another method. At the same time, he also wanted to take advantage of the chaotic moment to investigate something. Rinnegan, together with 10 tails, can have the same power as Sage of 6 Paths, and at that time, no one can stop him from taking revenge. Therefore, he is also very eager to collect tailed beasts. Have enough strength to be able to do what you want to do. Hearing this plan, Nagato was taken aback. After all, what they are doing is equivalent to destroying all human beings on the earth, and then putting the consciousness of all human beings on the internet to survive. But they who did this kind of thing actually have to ask the 4 major powers for help. It feels ridiculous to write in the future, however, it seems that it is not impossible. We just grabbed Iwagakure and Jinchuriki from Cloud Shinobi Village, will they say yes? Conan couldn't help but speak. She doesn't trust Obito at all, and is deeply on guard. Has been collecting information on Obito, ready to counterattack at any time. So he couldn't help but retort. Advertisement. Iwagakure, Onoki is dead, and now in the midst of civil strife, I'm choosing a new Tsuchikage. And Cloud Shinobi Village, it's a little more troublesome, but if he is the only shinobi village who objects, he won't agree because of his name. Sanagakure and Kirigakure, we didn't do it, who would object? And most importantly, now Uruk is the enemy of everyone, he has killed a large number of ninjas in the 4 major villages. At the same time, the daimyos of the 4 countries are naturally looking forward to the death of the ninja-born king. In addition to this battle, they can clearly see that no country can resist Uruk alone. Then how could they not join forces? According to intelligence, the daimyos of the 4 countries have met in private, and we just need to promote this matter, understand? It was rare for Obito to say such a long word, however, what he said is also true. I didn't want to entrap Nagato either, I was very confident when I spoke. Then, like this, they can solve it themselves, why should we intervene? What if they know our secrets and join forces to deal with us first? Conan is still not convinced, but it's not a slap in the face. Still gave the reason. Time, that Uzumaki Mizuki is growing too fast. The negotiation time between the Dark 4 countries may take half a year or even more than a year. And he's only 9 years old now. Although 3 Tails hasn't been reborn yet and needs to wait, Uzumaki Mizuki's strength won't wait. If he keeps getting stronger, then it will be difficult to carry out this plan. Obito said straight. This is what worries him the most. After the investigation, according to the intelligence of those ninjas, Uzumaki Mizuki's strength has been getting stronger. This time, alone, he dealt with the ninjas of the 4 great villages and killed 2 shadows. Even he can't do so many things in one day. Then follow this plan, as soon as possible. Nagato said with a solemn expression. The sooner the plan, the better, he felt. This Uzumaki Mizuki has a big problem. Moreover, he doesn't like this kind of war very much. There is no gain at all, and it is impossible to make everyone feel pain, so they are afraid, and they will die more and more. Therefore, he wants to solve it as soon as possible. Conan is not talking. Then, let's use Hanzo's name to raise this matter. Obito said. After all, the Akatsuki organization is basically rebellious, and now the only one who can take it out to do things above board is the leader of Rain Shinobi Village, the name of half-body Hanzo. 106. Sage Mode and Forces of Nature, Weird Power. Uzumaki Mizuki tensed his hands, holding the long sword in his hand, and slashed directly towards the Senju pillar. Senju Hashirama was not polite either, he directly held the sickle in his hand and chopped it up. Clang. The weapons in the hands of the two couldn't bear this force at all, and they collapsed directly. The blade part of the sickle, as well as the sword body, were directly broken. The quality of this weapon is too bad. After so many years in the ninja world, there are no good weapons. Senju Hashirama had no choice but to drop the handle of the sickle in his hand. He accompanies Uzumaki Mizuki to practice physical skills, because it is difficult for other people in Uruk to compete with the Whirlpool, Mizuki in terms of strength. Although Tsunade also has strange power, the power that erupts is simply incomparable. He will also have similar skills, so he can compete with the Whirlpool water. However, he felt that Uzumaki Mizuki was improving very fast. At the beginning, he could beat Uzumaki Mizuki. He could feel that Uzumaki and Mizuki basically had no progress experience, relying entirely on instinct to fight. Several times he beat Uzumaki and Mizuki disgraced, which made him feel happy. Because he was always reprimanded by Uzumaki Mizuki in the past, he almost didn't feel the feeling of being an elder. The weapon is too strong, and it is easy to hurt yourself. The level of training is almost the same. No matter how strong it is, it will take life and death to comprehend it. As for Uzumaki Mizuki, I don't feel much. He had intensive training with Senju Hashirama for over a month. In addition to practicing ninjutsu, most of the day is spent practicing against Senju Hashirama. Skills or something, Uzumaki Mizuki didn't learn much. It's just about mastering what kind of posture can exert the greatest strength. It is enough to learn these. He is not interested in learning any swordsmanship, as long as he can use it. Now, if he meets 4th Raikage again, he will definitely be able to fight back. I don't know that you have such a great power. If you don't turn on Sage Mode, I can't compare to you. When Senju Hashirama heard Uzumaki Mizuki say that the training was over, he couldn't help but feel a little empty. At the same time, I am even more curious about where the strength comes from these small arms and legs. Pay money to buy. Sorry to bother you, Uzumaki Mizuki is telling the truth here. It all depends on buying equipment and then attributes. But in the past few days, relying on myself alone has also increased a lot. After all, I have officially started to cultivate myself. Attributes began to increase significantly. Advertisement. After thanking, Uzumaki Mizuki left directly. Senju Hashirama also lamented that after one generation is stronger than the previous generation, he is ready to go for a stroll. Watching Uruk keep getting better is the reason for him to stay here. Originally, he thought about going back to the Pure Land. But I still feel that I should see it for the last time, and see how far this world can go, so that I can feel at ease. How is the force of nature research going? Leaving Senju Hashirama's side, Uzumaki Mizuki came to Orochimaru's side. From Jiraiya, after learning how to absorb the forces of nature, I figured it out myself. The power of nature, chakra, spiritual power, the fusion of 3 equal parts, is the magic chakra. With Uzumaki Mizuki's current level of magic power control, it is not difficult to practice, but for the force of nature, Uzumaki Mizuki is going to let Orochimaru figure out what substance it is. It can be said that chakra is another form of the force of nature. It is 10 tails, that is, the sacred tree, which absorbs the life force of the ninja world and bears fruit, and the force area appears. An energy conversion. The force of nature has become better controlled, and at the same time, its strength has also been lost. Immortal Jutsu has a remarkable effect on improving ninjutsu. At least it is more than doubled, and 2 or 3 times as normal. I have studied this thing, tried to improve it, and made a curse mark that belongs to me alone. It works on people, but not everyone can adapt. If not, they will die, but the strength improvement it brings is also very good. It can strengthen the chakra in the body several times. The experimental results have a certain relationship with physical fitness and strength, and after the human body is suspended animation, this power can be activated and made stronger. Orochimaru said. Now, he is also researching, thinking about how to clone his body cells so that they can fully adapt to the power of nature. His body, which is completely powered by the force of nature, made him feel a little eager to move. Sage mode has been practiced. It's just that Mizuki wants to go one step further, replace chakra with magic power, and perform fusion to create a new fairy chakra. But failed. That strong resistance almost didn't allow him to use the talisman that broke the commandments of all things. However, Uzumaki Mizuki felt that there seemed to be a possibility of success. But it took too much time to think about it by himself, so he asked Orochimaru to study what the nature of the force of nature is. See if you can find any solution. If he tried it himself, the feeling that his body was going to explode made him feel a little stressed. Ask for flowers, but his fairy face is not a frog. Probably not done at Mount Myoboku. In a place that is not a fairyland, it is still difficult to perceive the power of nature. It took Uzumaki Mizuki several days to find the power of nature and then introduce it into his body. Advertisement in his fairy face is just the water chestnut of the 100 healings mark on his forehead, which has become a shape similar to an eyeball, and at the same time there is a crown on the eyeball, and then there are, like wings on both sides. Nothing else changed. The color is dark blue. Uzumaki Mizuki doesn't look good. But it can be said to be the perfect fairy face. Uzumaki Mizuki felt that it was much more beautiful if it was like the dark red magic circuit emerging from his body. The force of nature can make people irritable, and it can also deform people's bodies. Do you think that the three immortals of Mount Myoboku, Ryuchi Cave, and Shibone Forest were human before? Uzumaki Mizuki asked. Possibilities exist. After all, Jiraiya's body has undergone strong changes at this level. In the past, without chakra, it is not impossible to completely drink the power of nature and completely transform the body into an animal. There is a possibility, however. Is it possible that humans have not mastered this kind of power before? When the Otsutsuki clan invaded, only the toad from Mount Myoboku tricked the Sage of Six Paths into taking action. Orochimaru was also puzzled, but with regard to history, no one knows the specifics. At the same time, let alone the other party's heart. Finding the essence of this power can solve most of the doubts. Keep going. Uzumaki Mizuki said helplessly. In this regard, he is really not that strong. And the treasure that can provide help is too valuable. Known as the all-knowing and omnipotent star, can penetrate the essence of affairs, stronger than Sharingan and Supercilious. But the price is not cheaper than the distant ideal land. I heard that the four major powers are going to form a coalition. Do you need help? Orochimaru nodded, and asked further. Almost 4 months have passed since the last war ended. Uzumaki Mizuki is also 9 years old. The news of the ninja coalition spread more and more intensely. But it's not quite done yet. I'm waiting for them. Uzumaki Mizuki said calmly. 107. Let's start to dominate the ninja world. Originally, Uzumaki Mizuki was planning to expand and bring the surrounding countries into Urik's territory, so as to unify the ninja world as soon as possible. However, Urik's manpower is indeed less. In the past few months, in addition to stabilizing the internal situation of Urik, it is to train new consuls, and then let them manage the country that will become Urik's territory. The existence of Otsutsuki Yuya made him very upset. Who knows what this old guy's final plan will be? Come back next time. It will definitely be the real Six Paths level, and the possibility of becoming stronger is not out of the question. After all, he has been hiding for so many years. He can't be playing. He must have a plan. Beware of Otsutsuki Momoshiki and others. You must be prepared for a perfect plan. Could it be like Kagaya-ji, who also made 2 children from the sacred tree, Indra and Ashura? Uzumaki Mizuki guessed. Yuya and Hamura, 633, were also made out of sacred trees, not the children of some human leader. But guessing randomly here will not get the truth. After all, the only one who knows the facts is Otsutsuki Yuya. Just protect Naruto. The truth of other things is just like that. Calculating the time, the manpower prepared by Urik is almost ready, and it's time to start the annexation plan. Uzumaki Mizuki looked at the map of the ninja world and felt that there was no need to wait any longer. The more territory and population, the more points you will get. Let's exchange the distant ideal land first. This also has confidence. Uzumaki Mizuki held a meeting. Except for Akamichi Dingza, who was away from home, everyone rushed to the scene. After all, everyone knows who is the real king. Although he usually handles government affairs, he has completely become Namikaze Minato. But everyone still depends on Uzumaki Mizuki's face. It's been so long, and it's rare for the first time to have a meeting, and no one is absent. Including Senju Hashirama, they all came to watch the show. The location of the meeting is in a newly completed Western-style castle. In the hall, there is only one king chair, and everyone else is standing, including Namikaze Minato. This meeting is held for the sake of the Ninja Alliance. The new consul is almost trained, right? Have you understood the new law? Uzumaki Mizuki said directly. Advertisement then asked Nara Shirju. This matter is his responsibility. About 1,500 people have been trained, and if one person manages a town, it is roughly enough. However, when it comes to management, many people will resist and don't believe us. In the territory of Urik, we have encountered many such things, and the decree cannot be fully implemented. Nara Shirju walked out of the team, then bowed slightly and said, many opponents of the old forces are often right and have caused many conflicts. It's almost there. The people who died in this kind of resistance should not die as many as in the war. Then let's talk about the war. This time, bring the entire ninja world into the territory of Uruk, don't waste any more time. Uzumaki Mizuki said directly, he is actually not that good at management. But as long as we do two things, let everyone have enough to eat, and the second is to give the people a way to keep climbing. Just do these two things. Others, just take the requirements of the earth and ask these rulers. If you can't do it, the consequences will depend on whether you are strong enough or not. Dead people are inevitable, so Uzumaki Mizuki is not ready to be merciful either. Wouldn't it be too much to annex 4 countries at once? It was Namikaze Minato who spoke. In the past, people like Konoha did not dare to refute Uzumaki Mizuki at this time. Although Namikaze Minato has managed Uruk for a long time, his consciousness is still the consciousness of 10 years ago. As for war, I still hope to avoid it. Beating them is not a problem for me, the problem is whether you have the ability to manage these positions. Vortex Namikaze took a look at the water, and then said directly to the people below. Namikaze Minato also realizes that it is not good to ask such a question here, so I will not say more. From now on, gather the manpower, wait for dispatch in the capital, externally, as always, just stabilize the situation. Half a month's time, the manpower preparation will be completed. Ninja Alliance, just leave it to me to deal with it alone, and you can take care of the aftermath. That's it. Uzumaki Mizuki, there is not so much nonsense. It's up to him to do the fighting. Calling him to come is not to boost morale, the main thing is to inform, prepare to take over the site, and prepare the manpower. As for the manpower, he is going to make himself cheaper to his father, and use the Flying Thunder God to teleport it, which is simple and convenient. Now Impure World Reincarnation is Infinite Blue, and there is no pressure to teleport, so he will not be polite. Advertisement: my father is also my laborer, yes. The people below replied in a calm manner, these are benefits. Although the risks are great, the benefits are also much greater. Now, apart from not offending the king and at the same time doing the job well arranged by the king, there is no risk. Compared with Konoha before, it can be said that there is too much freedom. The profit is also high. Apart from being besieged and beaten by the 4 major powers and losing a lot of manpower, there is nothing else. This time, Wong did it himself, instead of spreading the front line and waiting for rescue as before. So, such a simple job must be done well, although they may not die, being excluded from the most profitable team will also make them heartbroken. Therefore, we must do our best to complete the tasks assigned by Uzumaki Mizuki. Still resist? Now Sanagakure, Iwagakure, and Kirigakure are here. If they object, they will attack Cloud Shinobi Village first, and then deal with you. Said to 4th Raikage, who has the appearance of Hanzo, but the real body is Obito. Among the 5 major villages in the past, only Cloud Shinobi Village treats daimyo on an equal footing, and even has an advantage. After seeing Uzumaki Mizuki's power, 4th Raikage knew that the numbers didn't matter much. But the big names didn't listen. They just want to kill Uruk, the 0.3 outlier in this country. All hands, gathered in the territory of Thunder Country in the opponent Cloud Shinobi Village. If he doesn't agree, the Ninja Alliance will kill Cloud Shinobi Village first, and then attack Uruk. Understood. Let's do it. As a demigod, I hope you can stand up and face Uzumaki Mizuki. 4th Raikage couldn't refuse. There is a lot of hatred for Uzumaki Mizuki though. But this feeling of being threatened really made him feel very uncomfortable. Certainly, Obito breathed a sigh of relief. The last puzzle of the Ninja Alliance has also been assembled. The next step is to dispatch and attack Uruk. Uzumaki Mizuki's growth rate, let him feel fear, can't drag it down. 108. The Ninja Alliance formation. This guy is our target this time. All other things can be put aside, as long as you can kill him, it will be considered a success this time. It was Luo Sha who stood on the stage and explained. 4th Raikage is not interested in going up to explain. The other 2 villages did not come over because of the dryness of the daimyo. The 2 sides are still arguing. In the end, the daimyo promised that as long as Uruk is killed, you will still be responsible for Ninja Village from now on. But Kirigakure also has a genshi, which is different from other ninja villages. He is a person who can share power with Mizukage, and the 2 sides are equal. It's just that he doesn't have much strength and relies on prestige. But although there is no shadow to do it, but the elders and other hardcore figures from the old faction came a lot. I think a Jonin level team should be formed to target him. Ordinary ninjas have no effect at all. Although unwilling to serve as an explanation, but what should be said, 4th Raikage will still say. Ordinary ninjas are really useless, just other ninjas 25 used to contain Uruk. Kill Uzumaki Mizuki and this war is over, this is what everyone thinks. I think it would be best for the head of the team to be headed by the Hanzo of Rain Shinobi Village. Master Yuan stood up tremblingly and spoke directly. The reason is naturally the interests of Changyan Village. Letting the shadows of other ninja villages take charge of this matter will definitely consume the manpower of other ninja villages. Jonin are all valuables, and if one is missing, it cannot be replenished in a short period of time, which is completely different from Genin. Then, as a neutral Hanzo, it is very suitable for this matter. Iwagakure is also in favor of the proposal, Kido said calmly. In Iwagakure, there are actually not many middle-level bosses who can make a move. Because Onogi, basically like Sarutobi Hiruzen, wields power and suppresses his opponents. At the same time, the disappearance of the two Jinchuriki greatly weakened their strength. This time I came out with Deidara and Black Soil. He has to support it until the younger generation grows up to take over Ying's position. Iwagakure has no shadow, therefore, he agreed with Master Yuan's proposal. What's Feng Ying's opinion? Fourth Raikage naturally doesn't think highly of Luo Sha. Advertisement after all, in his eyes, that is, Iwagakure and Konoha village are two big enemies. The strength of Sunagakure and Kirigakure is not at the same level as them. Moreover, he felt that Uzumaki Mizuki did not kill this guy, it must not be the reason for lack of strength. After all, he was forced to run away and did not dare to resist at all. Therefore, this Kazekage is likely to have surrendered to Uzumaki Mizuki. If Raikage has no objection, let the leader Hanzo be in charge of this team. Luo Sha's face was a little ugly, he felt that it would be best for him to be in charge of this team. But now, this is not Kirigakure. We must respect the opinions of other forces. After all, without their consent, it is useless to be responsible for ourselves. Most importantly, he wants to restore momentum, but I recalled the pressure I felt when facing Uzumaki Mizuki. Let Hanzo be the leader, then, you're welcome. Obito didn't expect that he could get into this position. Originally, he was ready to leave, and wanted to take advantage of the ninja coalition forces to attack Uruk, and led Akatsuki to arrest Nine-Tails Jinchuriki. But now it seems that it is better to stay here and gather manpower to deal with Uzumaki Mizuki. After all, without Uzumaki Mizuki, Uruk is just a chicken and a dog, and it is not vulnerable at all. Discussed for a long time, in the end, the heads of the major villages all joined the team. Includes Raikage and Fourth Raikage, Iwagakure Terracotta, Kirigakure Hoshigaki Kisame, then there is the puppeteer Ebizo. Cloud Shinobi Village Todai. Others, there are about 100 Jonin. This is almost the remaining strength of the four major villages, except for a few guards at home, all others have been called out. The two shadows, and many assistants are responsible for keeping Uzumaki Mizuki in check, while the others try to find each other's weaknesses and consume his chakra. Too many people will also cause trouble, so find the right time and then do it. If it doesn't work, you can help us from the sidelines. Obito said seriously. On the court, only Fourth Raikage, Luo Sha, and him survived under Uzumaki Mizuki. The rest are basically wiped out, or survive, but don't know how strong Uzumaki Mizuki is. With several people added together, it is always possible to hold him back. Advertisement, it makes sense. Master Yuan followed suit. Kirigakure has nothing to lose, but what is lost is the last. Although he doesn't know it yet, Kisame is also a traitor. Kirigakure faulted, kicked to death by Might Die 4 Ninja 7 people. Due to civil strife, the Shueiji Jiji family was almost wiped out. After that, among the 7 ninja swordsmen, Hoshigaki Kisame was the only one in the village. This is still the case where the previous Suika Mountain Puffer Ghost died under unknown circumstances, and Kirigakure has no time to investigate internally. Then, assemble your troops and prepare to go, Obito said directly. This time, he chose to bring Nagato with him. Kakuzu, on the other hand, went to Konoha, trying to capture Nine-Tails Jinchuriki. Will definitely help them. Konan and Nagato, followed by 383, dealt with Uzumaki Mizuki together. I hope to see you, Willow, the leader of Hanzo. Fourth Raikage got up and said to Obito, he is always restless. But with so many ninjas on the field, it is impossible to add up to one Uzumaki Mizuki. Of course I will take the lead, hold Uzumaki Mizuki and leave it to me. On Obito's side, he thought Fourth Raikage had doubts about him. The soldiers are already approaching the city, and there is no time to back down. So he pretended to be very generous and said, everything is up to him. At this time, everyone has their own plans in their hearts. They all knew that the daimyo might already be unhappy with them. And the same is true for them, very dissatisfied with the daimyo. Especially Fourth Raikage. I feel that daimyo seems a little afraid of death and dares to provoke him. If it wasn't for the fact that all the ninja coalition forces had gathered, he would definitely have taught daimyo a lesson. That's good. For Fourth Raikage, they are still planning to keep the strength of Cloud Shinobi Village as king. Everyone, 2 people appeared in the sky, Uzumaki Mizuki, and Konoha's 4th Hokage Namikaze Minato. Did not wait for them to leave the meeting. The person in charge of security appeared directly and said very anxiously. 109. Come on with a salute first to scare them. This number, the number of ninjas should exceed 40,000. Minato stood on the skylock, watching the situation below. It was evening now, and the sun was about to set. But there is some commotion below, it seems that they have been discovered. Just leave it to me, father, you shadow clone, it shouldn't be a big problem to protect yourself, W. Uzumaki Mizuki spoke, although he came here, he is also a shadow clone. Now there is a lot of wealth, and the mana value has exceeded the upper limit of 500,000. The main body only left 50,000 magic points, while shadow clone has 450,000. Enough is enough. And now, with Namikaze Minato here, the shadow clone thing has been knocked out, so it's good to do it again. Is it really okay for you to be alone? Namikaze Minato though has heard many rumors about Uzumaki Mizuki's strength. However, I still don't believe that one person can defeat tens of thousands of people. My strength is not at the same level as it was half a year ago. Uzumaki Mizuki said very calmly, now he has laid the foundation. The utilization rate of magic power is more than double than before. It is no longer the easiest way to use it directly by bombarding it directly. After finishing speaking, he opened the treasure house of the king and drew out the sword of vowed victory. Before coming, he had already put on the armor of the king. Be careful, on Minato's side, it's hard to say much. For this son, he really can't give birth to any disciplined mentality. After all, I owe him what I owe. Moreover, it's just a shadow clone, and it's nothing if it fails. So he is not too anxious. After finishing speaking, he directly used Flying Thunder God to leave and go to a nearby location. A Flying Thunder God Kanai was placed here in advance as a coordinate, which was brought by people from Uruk. It's not very far from here. Let's have a salute first, let them fall into fear. Uzumaki Mizuki, holding the sworn victory sword in his hand, moved his head. Ordinary ninja, he doesn't want to kill too much, but if you don't let them feel the pain, how can they be afraid? In this regard, he has the same philosophy as Nagato. Hit them until they are scared. The golden light directly illuminates the starry sky at dusk. Advertisement: this light caused many ninjas below to feel panic. But after all, he was professionally trained and did not run away directly. They are waiting for the boss to come out and give them face. Stop him quickly. If he is released, at least thousands of people will be killed or injured. See this light. The faces of 4th Raikage and Luo Sha changed drastically. Luo Sha shouted anxiously. Only Obito is a little confused, isn't it the red light? It seems that something has changed, but no one knows everything about Uzumaki Mizuki's specific strength. Leader Hanzo, let's do it together. Cage, send us to the sky, we can't fly. 4th Raikage said hastily. Now, it is within the territory of the Land of Thunder. The ninjas from several parties gathered scattered, not mixed. Therefore, it is very likely that this blow will only cause huge damage to a ninja village. He didn't dare to gamble. After trying this taste, I still feel that it would be better to stop the opponent. Go. On Luo Sha's side, he waved his hands. Immediately, 2 clusters of golden sand emerged from the ground. 4th Raikage jumped on it without hesitation. Obito thought about it and followed suit. However, he is still very concerned about Uzumaki Mizuki's ability to tear space and attack him. If he feels bad, he will run away immediately. That's the F*K. Too small. Younger than when we met Jiraiya-sensei. Tiandao raised his head, looked at the appearance of Uzumaki Mizuki in the sky, and couldn't help but exclaimed. Although I have seen the information, I was still a little surprised to see it with my own eyes. But at this time he was not panicked, because he felt that his strength was enough to deal with Uzumaki Mizuki. Watching 4th Raikage, and Uchiha Madara, dressed as Hanzo, charged towards Uzumaki Mizuki. He wants to collect information first. Curry stick. Uzumaki Mizuki swung the sword of sworn victory without hesitation. He deliberately waited a little longer, just waiting for someone to come out. Let's see if anyone is willing to block mine. Advertisement. An Curry stick with 50,000 mana is enough to destroy the entire Konoha. It is similar to the damage range of Tiandao's super god Luo Tianzhong. But the destructive power is far beyond that, especially the beam of light released as a condensed power. In addition to controlling the 2 golden sands in the sky, Luo Sha also controls a large pile of sand, which directly goes up to the sky. Hateful. 4th Raikage did not dare to resist this beam of light. He watched helplessly as the beam of light passed through his side and rushed towards the ground. The same goes for Obito. The king's treasure, unfold. After releasing the Curry stick, Uzumaki Mizuki waved his hand. A dense golden halo appeared behind him. The Skylock rushed out of it and bound towards the 2 of them. However, the ordinary Skylock did not pose much threat to the 2 of them, but it also interfered with their rushing towards Uzumaki Mizuki. Boom. But at the same time, the Curry stick also exploded. The ninjas below watched the beam of light fall. Many ninjas also released various escape techniques in order to resist. But whether it is fire style, water style, or wind style, lightning style, they are all instantly swallowed. Finally standing in their way is earth style. The terracotta condensed a huge soil flow wall, blocking the line of the beam of light. Like water off a duck's back, the light directly penetrates the good ground. The surrounding ground cracked uncontrollably, then, the energy explodes. A mushroom cloud rises and the impact spreads in all directions. A large number of ninjas were affected. They would have been very clustered. The location of the camp is about the size of 2 Konohas. Now the Curry stick explodes directly in the middle, and the scope of the ninja is also the largest. Boom. Likewise, blast the blaster. It also made the 2 of them in midair blown so that they couldn't stand still at all. With this power, he has become stronger. Obito was terrified. When he was in Konoha, he was put under a lot of pressure. But now it seems that it is no longer the same. This speed of progress must be too fast. 110. I'm not the one who waits obediently when the enemy transforms. There is still a chance to surrender, and I am not interested in killing people. Being a dog to daimyo is worse than being a dog to me. I will give more. On Uzumaki Mizuki's side, looking at the two people stepping on the sand and constantly dealing with the skylock, said. But the line of sight is more focused on Hanzo. He was guessing the identity of this Hanzo. What kind of demigod is this? He should be dead. So, is this guy, Obito, or Nagato? But now, there is no way to deal with him, because the person who came is not the main body, so he cannot use the deviation sword. If you can't tear the space, you can't hurt Obito. If it is Nagato, then it is not a big problem, lateral bolt of pain. But what responded to him was 4th Raikage's hand knife. He directly rushed through the siege of the skylock, and rushed over stepping on the skylock. Speed up to ultimate. Weird power, but Uzumaki and Mizuki didn't use cut. Instead, go straight up. Puff, Uzumaki Mizuki, directly with the sword of Oath of Victory, cut off the palm of 4th Raikage along the wrist. The last time he was beaten, it made him angry for a long time. So this time, he didn't use any other means, just be tough. Although the speed is faster, but because it is not on land, it cannot be used to ultimate. At the same time, add Sharingan 163 with supercilious eyes on the shoulder, locking it tightly. And training experience with Senju Hashirama. This time, he stabbed the opponent steadily. The sharp sword of vowed victory, coupled with the burst of strange power. Just cut off the palm of 4th Raikage, in the past, when the armor of lightning style exploded at full strength. He is just like the man covered by armament hockey in one piece, the general attack can't break the defense at all. However, the sharpness of the sword of Oath to Victory is not comparable to that of ordinary ninja tools. ZZZ. On the 4th Raikage side, some couldn't believe their attack was cracked so easily. Also lost the palm of his right hand, however, he was still very decisive. Using lightning style, he directly burned his right wrist with high temperature to seal off the large blood vessels. However, Uzumaki Mizuki wasn't looking on. He's not the kind of man who would just stand aside while watching Sailor Moon transform. Directly control the skylock and rush towards the 4th Raikage. Obito on the side, seeing this, was full of hesitation, not knowing whether to help or not. Advertisement 4th Raikage frantically forced the skylock back. When I found out that Hanzo didn't help, I couldn't help being furious. Then, without hesitation, he jumped off the sand. He is not prepared to cooperate with such unreliable teammates. This operation surprised Obito. I regret not showing my strength just now, help 4th Raikage. Then, he saw a large number of skylocks rushing towards him. Without Kamui, his strength is at the level of the lead Jonin. How could it be possible to resist the lock of so many days? No matter how strong fire style is, it doesn't work. Kamui. Had to use Kamui. He wanted to jump like 4th Raikage, but there was no chance. It really is you, Obito. Uzumaki Mizuki is calm. Then, he stopped attacking Obito. Instead, it also rushed towards the ground. Obito was stunned for a moment, wondering why Uzumaki Mizuki gave up dealing with him. Logically speaking, shouldn't you deal with yourself first? After all, for Uzumaki Mizuki, he is undoubtedly the biggest enemy, killing his parents. However, before he could go down, a person appeared in midair. It really is you. Obito. Namikaze Minato looked sad and angry. Teacher. Obito's eyes darkened. The person who notified them just now said that the 4th Hokage is here. He thought it was fake, but he didn't expect it to be real. Boom. 4th Raikage hit the ground hard. However, this kind of impact does not have any pressure on him. Why did you stop? Don't you want to kill the G mother first? I'm all ready, CFEA, preparing to send other people up together. Luo Sha was very angry at this time, but sanity is still on the line. Fortunately, Sanagakure is the farthest away. When I came here, the location was relatively remote and outside. Minimal impact, however, thousands of ninjas were killed or injured. Advertisement. The plan was discussed today. Although I know the names, these ninjas have not met. Therefore, he didn't mobilize people in the first place just now because it took time to find people. That guy Hanzo is unreliable. If there are all such people, then the coalition forces won't need it. 4th Raikage said with a gloomy face. He didn't like this kind of alliance. This is different from the battle against the Shao organization that destroys the world. Uzumaki Mizuki, in fact, there is still a way out. Many civilian ninjas are looking forward to running away to Uruk. Only the ninjas of the big family felt that their interests had been violated and had to resist. The most rebellious attitude is naturally the nobles and the ninjas of these families. When being persecuted, 4th Raikage also considered whether to seek refuge with Uzumaki Mizuki or not. Now, he felt it even more, although the palm was cut off just now. What, that guy, betrayed? Luo Sha was startled. He's working hard here, he came, Ebizo said coldly. At the same time, open the scroll to release 8 golems made entirely of Jonin's corpse. Earth-style Gangly-style technique. Kaito, who was lucky enough to survive, has already started to attack. Go straight to Earth-style, create a rock titan, and charge towards where Uzumaki Mizuki falls. Liming technique. At the same time, Haidu also followed to help. C2 Dragon. Deidara's side, too. Uzumaki Mizuki personally killed Onoki, for the three of them, they are enemies. Water-style mackerel ball technique. At the same time, Kisame also released water-style. Uzumaki Mizuki, who had just landed, was besieged by several ninjutsu. Curry stick. But Uzumaki Mizuki slashed the sword of the vowed victory, like drawing a knife, instantly. A golden ray approaching 330 degrees cut these ninjutsu directly. It can be done with a minimum of 2,000 mana points. Those who reacted quickly, naturally avoided the light, but there were a lot of ordinary ninjas around, so they were not so fast. Instantly cut in half. The ninjas who survived felt terrified. Looking at Uzumaki Mizuki who fell to the ground smoothly, no one dared to attack him for a while.